Looking forward to it.
It's an interesting dynamic. Before we talk about it, we've got to start with some breaking news, and that's that Pascal Wehrlein has pulled out following his crash yesterday. And a statement on the Race of Champions website read, following his accident during yesterday's Race of Champions at Miami's Marlins Park, German driver Pascal Wehrlein will take no part in today's ROC Nations Cup as a precautionary measure on doctors' advice. Wehrlein said, "I'm very sorry to withdraw from today's ROC Nations Cup. I'd really like to race again and I feel fine, but the doctors have advised me to rest, so of course I will take their advice. It's no more than mild discomfort, but my real priority for the coming year is the Formula One season." And it was a nasty old crash, Max, there's no doubt about that, so it seems like the right decision.
Yeah, you know, you've always got to follow the doctor's decision, but I am quite surprised by it because even though it was a hefty old hit, it was either one of those accidents where there was going to be sort of serious damage or you're fine and walk away, and they both walked away, and I'd love to know the reason of why, because if it's concussion-based, then he's going to be out for some of the pre-season testing, or maybe, as you say it, maybe it's a team have got involved.
Well, yeah, I've got a sneaky feeling, Mark, that Mercedes or Sauber may have got on that phone and said, you know, it's just not worth taking the risk, is it? Because we were having a great time yesterday, and it took us all by surprise just what a hefty shunt it was.
Yeah, if you're Toto Wolff and one of your prized assets does that yesterday in an event that means nothing to Mercedes necessarily, I think, you know, there's a chance you'll be on the phone saying, perhaps you want to sit this one out, young lad.
Well, let's have a look then at the groups for today's Nations Cup. And as you'll see, Group A is the teams from USA and Canada, and the top two from that go through. In Group B, we've got the European nations, including Great Britain and Germany. As you'll see, because of Pascal Wehrlein's retirement from the event, Sebastian Vettel will be driving on his own. And Group C, well, that's all about the South American nations. So, chaps, who stands out for you?
Got to back Team GB all the way. You know, Jensen and Coulthard were on good runs yesterday, so hopefully they can keep up their performance. I'm not sure how early they got to bed last night, but hopefully they don't let down the side, and they can do it for Team GB today.
There's nowhere to party in Miami, is there?
If there is anywhere, DC and Jensen will have found it. We know that for sure. I think that's a good shout. They were both looking really good yesterday. I think Team Brazil as well. Felipe Massa and Tony Kanaan, I thought both looked on good form as well. So two to watch there.
Well, I'm going to go for Team Vettel because actually he's going to get more time in the car.
Yeah.
And, well, there's no doubting that he'll be smarting from yesterday. Defending champion out in the group stages. Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, I think he was surprised by it, to be fair, because he's traditionally done well at this event, more so in the team's championship, but he's done very well, so he'll be looking to sort of reprise that today for sure.
Well, we're hearing actually that it's Seb versus Jensen in the first race. That will be pretty tasty.
That is going to be fantastic, and actually I think Jensen's got the upper hand there, because Jensen was on a good little roll yesterday, and as we said, Seb got out pretty early yesterday, so he's got sort of less track time than the others, so that's going to be a great head-to-head battle.
Is it quite good for Jensen, really, just to keep racing after his retirement at the end of last season from Formula One?
He didn't retire, I don't remember.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is, because, you know, he's not had enough of racing. You know, we know he wants to perhaps get involved in Rallycross or something. I think you touched on it yesterday. This is probably good preparation for a Rallycross championship assault. And also, he needs to stay fit, he needs to stay sharp, because there is still a possibility he could get called back into a McLaren at some point. So he does need to stay on top of his game, for sure.
Well, it's going to be a strange grid next year in Formula One with that, first time in 17 years.
Yeah, I've been following him ever since I was a kid. He was sort of, you know, the man to be, and, you know, he's such a lovely guy, so it's going to be weird not having him around, but he's still going to be in the paddock, and as Mark just said, he might get the call up for some reason this year. And
how surprised were you? Delighted that Juan Pablo Montoya took the title yesterday on his debut at Race of Champions?
Yeah, I know. I mean, he did well. You know, this is about consistency, this event. You've got to be quick and consistent right throughout the afternoon, and he did that, you know. So we talked at the start of the show yesterday about, you know, we always want to pitch the best drivers against each other to see who comes out on top. I'm not convinced Juan Pablo Montoya, with the greatest respect, is the best driver we've got in the world, but he did a very good job yesterday and deserved that title. Absolutely.
Versatile he certainly is. OK, right, it's time to sit back and enjoy the show, because we can join commentary live from Miami with Jenny and John.
The Race of Champions. Hello, everyone. I'm Bob Varsha. For the first time in its 28-year history, the Race of Champions has brought its one-of-a-kind competition to America. The Race of Champions is where the world's greatest drivers from all major forms of motorsports battle to prove that they are the best on Earth. Champions from Formula One, NASCAR, Le Mans, IndyCar, and Rally. Names like Button, Kanaan, Busch, Pastrana, Sebastian Vettel, Hunter Ray, and Christensen. Not to mention the pride of a nation symbolized in the two-man competition of the ROC Nations Cup.
I'm Kyle Busch. Welcome to Miami. This is 2017 Race of Champions, coming to you from Miami. Are you ready? Welcome to Miami!
Hola, bienvenidos a Miami.
This is the epicenter of motorsports. There is no place on earth more competitive than right here on the Race of Champions. And where can you find the right track for such a unique event? By building it from scratch inside a baseball stadium, Marlins Park in this case, using thousands of linear feet of metal plating, tons of gravel, enough asphalt to build a small highway. It took the ROC crew 7 days to create one of the most unique racetracks in the world. It's really two tracks on which the racers start side by side, switch lanes at the mid-race crossover, and off the final corner, they drag race to the checkered flag. The competitors will race in 8 different types of car. Among the new equipment this year is the Boole 05 and the Polaris Slingshot, the first 3-wheeled vehicle ever at the Race of Champions. And that's not all the event has in store. Now it's time to answer the question, who is the best of the best?
I want all those F1 guys.
The drivers are ready. The cars are ready. The fans are ready. Are you ready for the Race of Champions?
But today, it's not just about the individual. Travis Pastrana will be competing for Team USA Rallycross. Team USA IndyCar includes Alexander Rossi. Jenson Button and David Coulthard will team up for the United Kingdom team. And yesterday's winner of the Champion of Champions, Juan Pablo Montoya, has Gabby Chavez alongside him for Team Colombia. 10 teams, and we'll find out who are the fastest nation on the planet. Hello everybody and welcome to Marlins Park in the city of Miami. I'm John Hindhaugh. Alongside me is Jenny Gow, and we're getting ready to find out the answer to the age-old question of who has the fastest drivers. Not which branch of motorsport today, but which nation. We've already had some racing today. We'll bring you up to date with that very shortly. But as you can see, our marshals are ready on the start line. So let's get down to some action with Team Great Britain coming out first against Team Germany. It's an old rivalry in all forms of sport. And it's going to be brought right up to date here with the Radical SR3s.
And just a reminder that Team Germany will be represented solely by Sebastian Vettel. His partner in crime was meant to be Pascal Wehrlein. We'll give you more information on that after this race and tell you exactly what happened. But first up, it is Button versus Vettel.
Motorcycle engines in the back of these Radical SR3s. Almost 1,000 of these little sports cars built since 2002. They compete around the world, and they are off and running with Jenson Button wanting to get Team GP off to a flyer. And he's up against Sebastian Vettel. Well, these two have faced off many times before, Jenny, and you've seen them in Formula 1 pit around the world. But this is something quite different.
Absolutely. This is all about Race of Champions and getting the drivers to do something and experience something totally outside their comfort zone. At the moment, Sebastian Vettel looks like he's got the better of Jenson Button.
Don't forget, it's slightly shorter on the lane that Sebastian started 670 yards. They'll come together off the final corner. Who has the momentum? It looks like it's going to be the far side. It is, and Sebastian Vettel gets only his second race win of the weekend. He went out first round stage yesterday. Remember, he was the champion of champions from the London Olympic Stadium just 12 months ago. A much happier German driver today.
Yeah, absolutely. So to remind you, yesterday Pascal Wehrlein was involved in an accident in one of these Slingshot Polaris cars, and he went to hospital afterwards for a precautionary checkout, and basically they've said to him that it's best for him to rest up and to not compromise his F1 career. So Sebastian Vettel rushing to the next car because he has no time to turn around. There is no partner for him. He will go back to back with the racing. It's been done before, but he'll have to do it again now.
He's got one race as a bit of grace to get his seatbelts fastened. The action is fast and furious. Every single race counts, and we're going for Helio Castroneves against Tony Kanaan. So this is Latin America, Rock Factor Latin America versus Team Colombia. As they're set up, ready to go. And off on the RX supercar lights down towards the first corner. Looked very close to me as they went off the line. Nice and balanced through the far side of the corner. Oh, hit the curb. Big hit on the curb there as they come into the crossover. Kanaan racing for Team Brazil. I put him in the wrong company there, my apologies. Has a little bit of an advantage, but he is going to have to work really, really hard indeed.
Yeah, coming around to that final corner, the long straight means you've got a slight advantage if you're in that lane. Oh, it was close.
Do you have any idea who won that point? 0-0-3-0. We measure down 4 decimal places here, and that was so close. Less than a nose for the winner, and Rock Factor Latin America go up by 1. Helio Castroneves, who's paired with a young man who is living the dream this weekend, Gabi Klusman. How close was it? Answer: that close.
Oh. Almost impossible to separate those two. Look, it was just as they came across. If that finish line had been even just a couple of inches further along, it would have been a different result, I feel.
And important to note there, and brilliant work on the replay, thanks guys, that it's the very start of that checkered stripe that is the finish line. And that was probably good news for Rock Factor Latin America.
So these two guys know each other incredibly well. Sebastian Vettel for Germany and David Coulthard for Team UK will go head-to-head now to see if they can rebalance things for the UK or if Germany are going to walk away with this. Remember, Sebastian Vettel has won this title 6 times, partnering up with the great Michael Schumacher.
So this is a Group B affair. We'll show you the brackets and explain how they go forward once we get a chance to take our breath with the racing rolling out so quickly here. Vettel on the far side in the white KTM crossbow. Looked to me as though there was a slight advantage again for the German coming down to the home plate hairpin here at Marlins Park as he heads up the right field line.
Yeah, plenty of sideways action, and you can see there in car with Sebastian Vettel how hard he's working that steering wheel. The passenger having a thrilling ride, and that you could just see was the crossover.
David Coulthard appears to have the advantage on the shorter run, but now it's about keeping things nice and smooth. Vettel sliding the car around, clearly comfortable in this KTM crossbow. Very agile little machine. Comes off the final corner. David Coulthard's very close to the centre line, but can't pull it back. And Germany go 2-0 up against the UK. Now that's the head-to-head, but the important thing there is that Team Germany have 2 wins from two starts. The UK with a big fat 0. Also in that group, Tom Christensen and Petter Solberg for Team Nordic. Yet to see those guys. Vettel coming out on the tighter line. Coulthard, did he cross the line? It was close, but I think he's got away with that. Makes no difference anyway. The point's gone to Germany.
It's okay, he had his right indicator on so that Vettel knew that he was coming into the lane. Absolutely gets away with that. You can see that finger up in the air, so synonymous with Sebastian Vettel. He's much happier today. Yesterday couldn't get into winning ways. Today beat David Coulthard, and I wonder what the reaction is from the two of those. You can see that they know each other pretty well. Yeah, bit of sideways action, Sebastian. You're absolutely right. Next up, we're going to take you to Group C to see what happens as Brazil takes on Rock Factor Latin America.
Gabi Gleesman up against current Formula One driver Felipe Massa. This young man elected by vote on the Race of Champions website, and he is loving it and living the dream, and he's actually learning very quickly indeed. This is the first time we've ever had a three-wheeled car in the Race of Champions, the Polaris Slingshot SLR, built for fast road and track work. And Massa with a comfortable lead at the moment, as Gabi still trying to get to grips with an unusual machine. And you could say this is quite extraordinary, because yes, Massa should be in the lead, because Gleesman hasn't done this before. He's a total rookie, and I think that will show. He's in the wall coming out of the final corner. Just lost it, the back end coming out the final corner, and he's looking like a proper racing driver there, but there's damage to the right front as he clipped the barriers coming out. Behind him, experience-wise, as Terry Grant is there straight away to turn off the car and hit the kill switch. He's experienced 2 track days, one at Spa-Francorchamps and one at Donington Park. I know when he drove at Spa-Francorchamps, that was a Caterham in the wet. Knowing as I do Donington Park, I would think it might have been damp there. And watch the orange car, clipped the outside first and then couldn't get the lock off before he fell off the right-hand side of the circuit. This is how it looked like from Gabi's point of view, and that is a bit of damage for the guys from Polaris to sort out. Real baptism of fire for our ROC Latin America winner.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there are so many different prices out there for the exact same room? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares the prices of over 600,000 hotels from over 200 different websites. So instead of searching for hours or spending too much, Trivago makes it easy for you to find the ideal hotel for the best price. Just go to Trivago, type in where you want to go, and with 2 clicks, select your check-in and check-out dates and search. It's that simple. Trivago searches hundreds of websites at the same time and shows you the most popular hotels. You can adjust the price so that it fits in with your budget, or select the number of stars, or filter by average guest ratings from over 100 million reviews. Remember, Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. And that's how you can be sure that you find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
You are currently watching On The Steer Streams. This is the Race of Champions event live, Nations Cup. If you are watching this as a replay, just skip forward because there will be ads in between of these events, of course, while they set up the cars. Guys, just make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribed already. If you're watching this live, just stay put, and the event will be back up shortly once, of course, Sky Sports managed to show you the event live.
See me now, I will be cooking all night.
Welcome back to Marlins Park in Miami and the ROC Nations Cup competition, where Sebastian Vettel, 4-time Formula One world champion, is a changed man. After a shocking upset in the individual competition, you are now 2 for 2 here in Nations Cup, driving as a solo entry. Did you sneak out and get a little practice last night or something?
Not really, but that's, you know, how it goes. Sometimes you wake up and you have a good day, you wake up, you have a bad day. I hope that this turns out to be a good day. Obviously, yesterday didn't last very long, but let's see. It's a good start, so wouldn't mind if we keep going like that.
The races seem incredibly close. Is the track getting quicker?
It does, and it's changing. The cars are changing with the conditions, so it's, you know, it's really, really tricky. No room for error. So if you have a little mistake, then especially when it's that close, you're basically handing it over. So we'll see. It's going to be a fun afternoon.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
And Scott Speed couldn't race for Team America, and Travis Pastrana had to do all the heavy lifting on his own.
I cannot believe this. Through to the final. I mean, definitely, you know, when the anchor of the team with Jimmy Johnson goes out, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to look like a fool out there. And, you know, I tell you, it's been a lucky year, and let's see if we can keep this luck going. Because, I mean, what are the chances of beating Colin McRae twice in a year? For me, none. Coulthard, come on, you got to be kidding me. But we're here, we're doing it, and go USA.
That was Paris 2006. Can Sebastian Vettel do some kind of Superman job for Team Germany? Remember, Vettel's never been to a Race of Champions where he hasn't picked up one of the big trophies. 6 times a winner with his countryman Michael Schumacher, and then when he came back last year, he won the overall. I think he's got the seat for the trophy booked on the flight home already. Clean-up goes on, you're missing none of the action from Marlins Park, City of Miami.
When it comes to loans, you deserve fair rates and great service. Welcome to Zopa. We set up Zopa to help people with good credit scores get a loan, and we make it simple, fast and fair. In fact, in under 3 minutes, you could find out whether you qualify for a Zopa loan and what your rate will be, with no impact on your credit score. That's why Money Supermarket named Zopa the best personal loans provider of the year. Why wait? Come to Zopa.com and get your free quote today.
I reckon this one.
What about this one?
This one's got a cherry on it.
That'll be £700 per month for 25 years.
Do you take cards? Obviously, a mortgage isn't a cake, so don't treat it like one. Over 1 million people have come to L&C for expert mortgage advice. Making the whole process, you get the idea.
For fee-free mortgage advice, get in touch and let Ellen see how we can help you too.
Here to save the day, Sky Fibre Max.
Who's Max? I'm Batman.
An exclusive deal for our TV customers at just £35 a month, including line rental for 18 months. It's super fast, with UK average speeds of 60 megabits.
That was on purpose.
And it's super unlimited.
That is awesome.
So grab Sky Fibre Max for £35 a month, including line rental. Search Sky Fibre Max. Sky. Believe in better.
Wake up, get up, make up, non-stop, Starbucks on the way. Work hard, nice car, football, pass out. What do you feel like today? This is how it all works. Group A, with the Team USA, NASCAR, IndyCar, Rallycross and Team Canada. They're going to fight it out. The top two will go through into semi-final A. In the bottom half of the bracket, 2 3-team groups, Great Britain, Germany and Nordic in Group B, Latin America, Brazil and Colombia, so sort of Europe and Latin America, if you will, for B and C. Only the top teams go through into the semi-final in the bottom half of the draw, and then of course we go through to the final. Here's how the teams line up. It's Busch and Busch for NASCAR, Ryan Hunter-Reay and Alexander Rossi for Team USA IndyCar, Team USA Rallycross, Travis Pastrana and Scott Speed, and then Stefan Rzadzinski, who's come through from Rock Factor Canada, is joined up with the Mayor of Hinchtown.
This is Group B. You can see in Team Great Britain is Jenson Button and David Coulthard. Team Germany, Sebastian Vettel on his own. Pascal Wehrlein not taking part in today's competition after an accident yesterday, just a precaution. And finally, Team Nordic is Tom Christensen and Petter Solberg.
And finally, Group C. Latin America is Gabriel Glusman, who we've just spoke to, Hello Castroneves, Tony Canan, TK and Felipe Massa for Team Brazil, Team Colombia, Gabi Chavez, and yesterday's champion of champions, Juan Pablo Montoya. Now, because we have so much to fit in, we actually did a bit of racing earlier this morning and got 4 heats off for Group A. And that saw some very close racing indeed. Down to 0.027 of a second, 0.0027 of a second. We have 4 decimal places here. And the good news for the IndyCar drivers were they came out on top with a couple of wins and therefore hold the advantage early on in those Group A standings. But racing was mighty close. Coming to the line here, that was, I think, the biggest margin of victory.
Yeah, Alexander Rossi doing a really good job to do that for his team. Now, let's get the racing back underway here in Miami.
So back with the SR3 Radicals, Jenson Button on our left, Tom Christensen on the right for Team Nordic. First time we've seen Team Nordic out. And again, the start so important here with such short races. Nothing to choose as Jenson Button goes down the left field line and over towards the bullpen, which is where we're doing our car and driver changeovers.
I wonder if Tom Christensen, oh look at him, almost scraping the barrier. I wonder if Tom Christensen's got a better style of mouth closed today, being aerodynamically challenged yesterday.
It's that Christensen grimace, isn't it, as he's urging the car to as much speed as he can, getting the momentum, the tail end wagging. He's a master of the Scandinavian flick despite his tarmac experience. He's got a slight lead, he's got enough of a lead, and he's got a win for Team Nordic. And Team United Kingdom's nightmare continues. Still have not got a tick in Jenny's win column here on her piece of paper.
Yeah, Jenson Button and David Coulthard teaming up. They have plenty of Formula One experience, but at the moment they are lagging behind. They do not have a win to their name, so must do better for Group B is what I'm saying.
And it has to happen very quickly indeed. Tom Christensen 5 times in the final for the individual competition, has taken the Rock Nations Cup in the past as well. This weekend tied with, or paired with, Petter Solberg. Next up, Team Colombia, represented by the champion of champions for 2017's event. Helio Castroneves will be racing Juan Pablo Montoya, who won the big prize yesterday.
He was absolutely on fire. What can he do for Group C? Can he get them a victory? We are ready to go racing here at Marlins Park. Juan Pablo Montoya eyes on it, and he is off. So, Montoya in the white, Castroneves in the black, and they take their first leap of this circuit.
The Supercar light machines, the only four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive machinery, and they are the busiest for gear changes. First, second and third being used here, and most of the drivers going all the way down the box to first for the hairpins like this in home plate as Castroneves takes the lead after the shorter run to the line the first time around. Is 1.1 seconds of a lead going to be enough? I'm not sure. It's about momentum coming out the final corner. It's going to be very close indeed. I think, into the wall. We've got another man into the wall. As Montoya's gone through, Castroneves has put the Supercar into the wall on the final corner. It was going to be close. I think Montoya might have had that, but we'll never know. but there will be, if not a dent in the bodywork, certainly in the confidence, perhaps, of Helio Castroneves.
Yeah, he won 3 races yesterday, did really well, but in comparison to Juan Pablo Montoya, you look at him, he ended up with 8 race wins yesterday. That's why he won the overall competition, and he is on fire. Just look at him sitting there very confidently in that supercar light. Juan Pablo Montoya, a force to be reckoned with, and this is a replay of that accident for Castroneves.
Looks okay to that point, and then just lose it, not quite close enough to the inside. Quite a big hit on the right rear. 319 horsepower per tonne out of the 330 horsepower 2.4 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, and the big lever in the middle, which is the e-brake, the parking brake or hand brake, depending on where you are in the world watching us today. And welcome along, whatever time of day it is, to Race of Champions Nations Cup. Let's get down to Neil Cole, who is with the other half of Team Nordic. Not seen him yet. It's Petter Solberg.
So, Petter, while they get that Rallycross car out of the wall, it's good that Tom Christensen has put 1 win for Team Nordic on the cards, because you've got to race David Coulthard in a crossbow.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Well, he's the fastest of everybody in the expo, you know, so I will try everything I can, and I really hope so.
Good luck, thank you.
Thanks. The KTM crossbow upgraded for 2017. We've had the crossbow before many years in the Race of Champions, going way back to Germany in Dusseldorf, but this year more power, 355 horsepower, a little bit lighter as well, at around about 1,700 pounds, 790 kilos if you prefer, and where permissible, not round here, around 145 miles an hour top speed. That's over 230 kilometres an hour at VMAX.
Team Nordic do have 1 point on the board. He will go up against David Coulthard for Team GB. They still haven't got any points on their board. So can Petter Solberg make it 2 for Team Nordic, or can DC pull one back?
DC is very, very good in these crossbows. He pushes the envelope. We might see an odd graze of the barriers here, because he knows exactly how to get the best out of these cars. Now, Solberg just staging a bit further back from the start line. That's interesting. Group B, Coulthard for Team UK need to win here. Team Nordic already have one on the board with Solberg and the white KTM, and an instant advantage for DC. David Coulthard, 13 Grand Prix victories to his name, but 1 tick in the win box is what he's looking for here.
Yeah, lovely start from David Coulthard. They get to the crossover, as you would expect. Team Nordic take the lead at that point, but it's very, very close between the two when they come round for the final lap.
And my intake of breath was because David Coulthard was so close to the concrete barriers in the middle as he came out the final corner. Did not want to lose any momentum at all. He's going to come out the final corner first. Has he got the speed? He has got the speed. And Team UK get on the board. David Coulthard finally gets a win for the UK and the Union flag.
For you. I'm not going to say that I'm biased, but for you is all I can say. And Coulthard having a little bit of fun with that crossbow on the way out of this amazing stadium arena complex.
So coming back down to the crossover area, or driver changeover area, and breaking news from Marlins Park as we go down to Neil Cole in the changeover area.
Well, we understand that Gabriel Glucksmann has been withdrawn for the competition just for precautionary measures after his contact with the wall in the Polaris slingshot. So it looks like Helio Castroneves will continue for his team, like Sebastian Vettel, as a one-man team.
Thank you, Neil. That means a bit more running around for the 2 drivers mentioned there. We already expected it from Sebastian Vettel. Not sure whether it's an advantage or a disadvantage. I suppose you get more track time, but you do have to adapt to cars very, very quickly here. On the start line, we move to our next competition. This is a Group C battle. Helio Castroneves in the Polaris Slingshot SLR against Gabi Chavez. Castroneves in the black and white machine, a little bit tardy off the line, maybe a little bit too much wheel speed on that driven single rear wheel. As Chavez neat and tidy in this Polaris slingshot. Had a few of them in the supercar parade this weekend with very nice custom paint jobs. Retail for around about $28,000.
So they take the crossover. Chavez slightly in the lead at the moment, as you would expect. Castroneves and nicely turned around that. A difficult, tricky, tight turn.
I think Chavez just tried to do a little bit of an opposite flick, a Scandinavian flick into the first corner. I'm not sure it paid off for him. It's cost him a little bit of momentum, and that might give the inside lane here the opportunity to come through, and he has. Castroneves then driving just a little more sedately. Race is over now, that doesn't matter as he spins it through the return lane, but just a little bit more neat and tidy from Helio Castroneves, and that gave him the advantage. Chavez will be kicking himself there. These races are so short, Jenny, you really can't afford any mistakes.
Yeah, especially as his partner Juan Pablo Montoya, who I can imagine watching that was a bit like, come on, go, because he wants to win this. He wants to be a double champion. Doesn't happen very often here at Race of Champions. So can he do it? That's the big question. And look at that as he jumps out the car. Castroneves, a lot to do this weekend, having to double up now and take all of the drives.
It's never happened that we've had the Champion of Champions in the Race of Champions Rock Nations. I had to look it up. Don't worry. I had a feeling that you were right about how unusual it was. Castroneves just losing it there on the slow-down portion of the run.
I wasn't going to stake a claim for it. I thought it, I didn't say it.
I'm going to look again just to make sure.
So up next we have Team Germany, Group B, Sebastian Vettel representing alongside Tom Christensen for Team Nordic. They're in the Radical SR3 RSX and they are almost at the start line, ready to go.
It's all calm at the really not happy at going out so early. The Champion of Champions going out before the knockout stage in the individuals. Tom Christensen, well, there's a driver with more experience of Race of Champions than anyone else here. Christensen closest to the camera in the black and white. Radical, oh, he didn't quite get it hooked him off the line, but Sebastian Vettel certainly did as he goes down to the home plate. Hairpin advantage to the German.
Yeah, he's looking to make it 3 from 3 here at Marlins Park. Can he do it, or will Christensen be too much for him? Looking to make it 2 wins. So it's Nordic versus Germany. Nordic take the crossover just first, so close to that crossover wall.
I'm not sure that's enough, you know. It's just on a second, and that might not be enough to hold back the flying Vettel, who is really in a different frame of mind here in the Rock Nations Cup. He's got the advantage of the final corner. It will be the track race, but it is enough for the German, and that's another win.
Yeah, making it 3 from 3 for Sebastian Vettel, as you say. He is on fire today. So 3 wins from Team Germany in Group B. And Bob Varsha, you're catching up with the drivers today.
When Helio Castroneves pulled in after his most recent win, he got out of the car unaware that he is now a one-man Rock Factor team after the withdrawal for precautionary reasons for Gabriel Glusman. So, what do you think of going forward solo?
Well, I hope he's okay, first of all. Obviously, you don't want to see anybody hitting the walls here. And right now, it's, well, I'm okay going solo. Let me tell you, the quality of drivers here is amazing. It's so difficult. I just jumped in the first time to the 3-wheel here, and it was like, I was crashing. At least on the race, I wasn't crashing, but before I was. But it's been quite interesting, and, well, let's keep going. So far, it's still a lot of race to go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Our next contest is already on the line, and this is a Group C challenge between Juan Pablo Montoya from Colombia, Tony Kanaan on the far side of the track from him. Very similar looking cars here, so make sure you check out the flags as they head down the far side of the circuit from us. It should be Juan Pablo that comes through first, and it is.
It is, but he's having a messy old lap of it, taking in a couple of bit of barriers on the way as well. So speed and precision, that's the key around this circuit.
It's a rhythm section in the middle, that's serpentine. Right, left, right, left. Opposite on the other side. This is going to be tight, but it looks to be going the way of the Champion of Champions, Juan Pablo Montoya. win for Colombia.
Pretty impressive stuff from Montoya. Canan just not really pulling things together in that section. It was close, but certainly not the closest of matches that we've seen here at Marlins Park. A beautiful backdrop of Miami behind us, and I wonder how Juan Pablo Montoya celebrated last night his victory for Race of Champions. It's a party city. It's the place to be.
Bit of curb on the inside there for the RX light machine, and that may have just dulled the progress slightly. Very cleverly designed circuit that allows those gaps at the first half changeover to close down just on 670 yards or 613 metres.
So we go back to Group B. Team Nordic taking on, of course, Team Germany and Sebastian Vettel. Sebastian Vettel looking for the clean sweep, trying to make it 4 from 4.
Now only one team goes through from Group B, and Germany have 3 wins at the moment, so Nordic and United Kingdom have it all to do, and really this is a must-win for Petter Solberg. If anyone is to have a chance of challenging Team Germany, the singleton driver of Sebastian Vettel doing Superman duties here, then this has to go the way of the crossbow in the hands of Petter Solberg.
Yeah, Solberg and Vettel both getting 1 win each yesterday, so neither on top form. Can they reverse that and turn it round? Well, Vettel seems to have done it. Can Solberg? Look at that, getting ready, focused.
They're now under the starters orders. The green lights are on. For me, Solberg, a tiny advantage going down to the home plate hairpin. He's got the longer run through to the crossover. You can't allow yourself to get distracted by what your opponent is doing. That's disastrous.
Yeah, absolutely. So Team Nordic, Petter Solberg taking the crossover second to Sebastian Vettel, who to my calling looks to be a little bit in advance at the moment. Can Solberg fight back now?
He's got the shorter run to the line from here. Sebastian Vettel's just going to keep it clean. Don't try and take too much speed into the final corner. Stay off the curb if you're Solberg. They're tight, but Vettel's going to come through. And that is Team Germany going through to the semi-finals, I reckon. 4 wins out of 4. And this day of competition, Sebastian Vettel is Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, he's been a Ferrari driver for the last couple of years now and had not too much luck. Just 3 race wins for that Ferrari team. He's hoping for better and he's come here with that winning way behind him, and he is looking to take a trophy home. It's been a little while since his last one. Can he do it again today?
Well, he looked supreme there in the crossbow car that responds very well to small inputs of the way the passenger of Sebastian Vettel was celebrating long before the line. Sebastian joining in with him as well. Now, last of Group C's races next, Jenny.
Yeah, we've got Colombia against Brazil in the form of Canan versus Montoya. They know each other pretty well, so they're going to know exactly what to expect. They are off the line in the Polaris.
3-wheel machines that have proven to be a real challenge for the world's best drivers. Exactly what we want here in Race of Champions. Look how hard the guys are working. There's a real split in the drivers, having spoken to them after yesterday's competition about whether you have to be neat and tidy or whether you can flick the Polaris slingshot into the corners. Chavez then with a bit to do on the second half of this run.
Yeah, Canan and Team Brazil with just 1 win to their name, so they need to win this really if they're going to try and progress through to the next round. It's very close as they come through the final corner.
Oh, it's a great run to the line, and the drag strip once again goes in the favour of the guys coming out of driver's left-hand side. And Massa takes it by 0.3 of a second over Chavez, and definitely got the run to the line.
Welcome to Miami!
So we're starting to see how the semi-finals will shape up. It's head-to-head at Marlins Park next.
Well, it's currently a break. Just a reminder to please make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe and subscribed already. If you're watching this replay, make sure you skip forward so you don't have to watch these annoying advertisements. Obviously, I'm not in control of Sky Sports. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. you can donate. There's a link in the description, and I'll put it in the comments once more. And also subscribe to my gaming channel, Mickey Motions, if you want to watch some F1 gaming content. But for now, enjoy the stream.
Ever since I was a child, I sing when I'm driving. And I've always wanted to go to one of the great opera houses.
I would think, Jenny, from his, frankly, by his own high standards, he won't have been happy with yesterday's performance.
No, absolutely. A four-time Formula One World Champion. He has been the Champion of Champions here at ROC, and he's been a ROC Nations winner 6 times alongside the great Michael Schumacher. So he'll want to go out today, and he'll want to take the trophy back to Germany.
KTM Crossbows next up in a Group A contest, with Kurt Busch from the NASCAR nation, Team USA NASCAR, and Travis Pastrana from Team USA Rallycross in the crossbow. Lots of X's in this one. Who will get the X in the win column? That is what this is all about. Watch the light in the middle. Over 700 horsepower from the two cars released onto the circuit. Back wheels spinning. And just a slight advantage for the NASCAR nation, I think. But Travis Pastrana won't give up.
Certainly not as they come around. It's Busch versus Pastrana. They take the crossover nice and smoothly there. Pastrana all sliding it around while Busch goes the other way.
Yeah, Kurt Busch now needs to keep it nice and smooth on the second half of the lap. He will bring a little more momentum onto the final straight. I think he's ahead anyway. Oh, it's close, and a big slide from Pastrana, but Kurt Busch holds on and puts a win in the column for the NASCAR nation. Just waiting to see if there's any penalties there. No, confirmed. Half a second. But it doesn't matter. Half a second or 0.0001. It's still about just 1 point and trying to get the nation through. Big slide from Pastrana, beautifully held, didn't touch the wall.
Yeah, Team USA Rallycross with a lot to do now. Almost impossible for them to get through. Still no wins to chalk up, whereas IndyCar, NASCAR, 2 wins apiece, and ROC Factor Canada with 1 win to their name. So tough times for Pastrana and Scott Speed as well. Still without that all-important victory in the ROC Nations Cup.
Now, for the first time in the Nations Cup, we see the most powerful cars rolling on to the starting line. These are the Whelen Euro NASCARs. They have their own series across the pond in Europe. And we're lining up with Kyle Busch and Scott Speed. 2 American Chargers in the big American V8s. Biggest engine, most power output, getting ready to go. And the roar of the V8s mean who are racing in Group A. For me, a little advantage to the black car heading round the home plate hairpin, and that's Kyle Busch who's hustling this car for all it's worth.
Yeah, Scott Speed really needs to try and chalk up a win here, both for his team and for himself. He needs to try and impress. So they take the crossover, and as you say, the black car of Kyle Busch very quick behind Scott Speed.
But I think he's close enough to challenge. He's got a slightly shorter run to the line here. Speed getting it out of shape in the wrong part of the circuit. It looked like he lost the front end of the car there rather than drifting the back, and I think this will be another NASCAR Nation winner. Is Kyle Busch comprehensively beating Scott Speed, almost, in fact, over 3/4 of a second, and that was being cheered on in the driver changeover area by the other half of the NASCAR Nation, Team USA NASCAR, and that's Kurt Busch with Neil Cole.
I know how much you guys have a rivalry normally. It's nice to see you cheering on your brother there. Great job by you two so far.
Thank you. It's been fantastic. I finally nailed a couple corners that I was struggling with, and I'm just so proud to do this with Kyle. It's so much fun to be here with the fraternity of the ROC drivers, but representing NASCAR, then we've got USA, and then we're brothers. So we've got so much going on. This has really been incredible. Thank you.
And driving these cars with no roof in this tiny circuit, how do you get to grips with it?
It's like a glorified go-kart track, but they're some of the best in the world here running, and you got to watch them, see what they're doing, learn little things, and then apply it. And still, smooth is fast. You got to go slow to go fast.
Keep on going. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, a win there for the NASCAR Nation. Widely applauded, I'm sure, around our coverage around the world, and particularly here in America for the first time on US soil. Great to be here with the ROC Nations Cup here in the city of Miami. And now Ryan Hunter-Reay, what can he do? Can he get a point on the board? Another point on the board for Team USA IndyCar. Top 2 going through from Group A. There's a chance here for the IndyCar boys as James Hinchcliffe, another one of the IndyCar drivers here, but representing ROC Factor Canada. Oh, hand off the wheel there from Hunter-Reay. I'm not sure he quite got enough steering lock up to get through the first corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was totally what he would have wanted to do. I don't think it's how he practiced it, but that's what he did. So he takes the crossover coming up there first. And will he be able to keep control of this, or will the Hinch be able to wrestle it back? There's a big gap between the two of them now as they go through that penultimate corner. Looks like Hinch has a lot of work if he's going to try and equal this up, but can he come around? No, it's gone the way of Ryan Hunter-Reay. Well, congratulations to him. They get 3 wins chalked up for Team USA IndyCar.
And that puts them on exactly the same point standings in Group A. It's the IndyCar and NASCAR boys who are holding sway in the American group, with X Factor Canada and Rallycross lagging behind.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online?
Once again, just another reminder, it's currently a break right now. Make sure you like this stream, make sure you subscribed already. It's currently the advertisements, so please make sure you subscribe to the channels. Links are in the description and the comments. Make sure you donate as well. We will be right back to the event once Sky Sports manages to sort themselves out. See you in a bit.
Wake up, get up, make up, non-stop, Starbucks on the way. work hard, NASCAR, football, pass out. What do you feel like today?
Exclusive by Small 3Y.
City of Miami, the perfect backdrop for the 2017 ROC Race of Champions and the ROC Nations Cup, which is where we are now as we try to work out who is the fastest nation on the planet. And at the moment, the US teams of IndyCar and NASCAR have shown early pace, 3 wins apiece for them in Group A, and look to be favourites to go forward. 2 teams from Group A going forward, but just 1 from Groups B and C. Team Germany is Sebastian Vettel on his own after Wehrlein wasn't clear to race this morning. Team Colombia includes our champion of champions. 2 American teams will go into semi-final A, the 2 rest of the world teams into B, and then we will have the face-off in the final.
So you've got the Indy 500 winner and the Indy 500 pole sitter from 2016 going head-to-head in this battle in the Eurocars. That's Team USA IndyCar and Team Rock Factor Canada.
Love the sound of those V8s. The rumble will become a roar. And Stefan Rzadzinski, the Rock Factor winner from Canada, on the inside, goes down to the first corner and takes the left field line. Meantime, in the black car, Rossi didn't get the turn in on the final corner. Now, that is okay. Rossi's not out of this, but he can't afford another mistake for my money.
Yeah, this is going to be incredibly close, I think, by the time they get around the penultimate and final turns. Is it going to be Canada? Is it going to be IndyCar? They both come around the final corner. It's going to be very close.
And it's Canada! And Stefan Rzadzinski puts a massive scalp on his CV as Alexander Rossi, last year's Indy 500 victory, is beaten by the ROC Factor qualifier. He came through a public vote on raceofchampions.com. Now, he has done some racing, most recently in a Nissan Micra. Before that, race for JDC Motorsports, but a Nissan Micra to Race of Champions, and the Indy 500 champion himself goes under the cosh from Stefan Rzadzinski.
Yeah, his nickname is Razzle Dazzle, and you can see why from that. He's a really great talent. A lot of people really excited that he managed to get through, but you can see there Alexander Rossi not happy at all, but Razzle Dazzle delighted with that. Look at him. It's almost as if he's just won everything, because that to him is a very sweet victory. He's done a lot of things in his time. He was regional karting titles, loads of them under his belt, but couldn't quite manage to ever make it. And this is his chance to shine, and that's why we love the ROC factor and what it does for some of the drivers who have not maybe been so lucky to get the funding or the backing that they wanted, but have got the skill, and they're proving it right now. So we're up for the next round, and it is, look at that man, Pastrana, in the hot seat, just waiting underneath the arch.
He's good. Oh, and it's a problem for Hinchcliffe. The car stalls underneath him. This is the Rallycross light car, 230 horsepower, four-wheel drive. He's got to restart it. Jim's got to keep his cool now, and does, and actually makes a fair decent start. Pastrana loves this car, understands about the four-wheel drive. Remember, he's driven similar things, not exactly the same, in the X-Games.
They are desperate for a win because Team USA Rallycross still don't have anything on the board, so they must win this. Oh, that was the tightest crossover we've seen, John. That was a muscle between the two of them.
And that must give the advantage to Pastrana, surely, because he's got the shorter run to the finish stripe. As he comes around this time, he'll have a bit of an advantage. Can he hold on to it? He will. He can. And he takes, finally, a win for Team USA Rallycross.
Oh, they needed that as well, desperately needed it. So well done, Pastrana, for getting the win for Team USA Rallycross. One to their name. More work to do for Canada.
Yeah, Hinchcliffe won't be happy about that, but Pastrana takes the victory and keeps Team USA Rallycross in the hunt at Marlins Park at the ROC Nations Cup.
We don't do things like that around here. We do things proper. It might look like a little bit of litter, but little things matter. We choose the square tea bag and follow that star, however hopeless, no matter how far from Harrogate it may take us. And why? Because this, my friend, is Brutopia. This is proper. This is Yorkshire.
At Marlins Park in the city of Miami as we're waiting the next contestants. It's a bit like the old-fashioned arenas of days gone by, the ROC Nations Cup. They've chosen their champions and now they fight it out, not to the death, but certainly wheel to wheel. Their chariots are varied and their skills are undoubted as the ROC cars, longest serving of our vehicles in the race of champions. Smallest engine, but they are so light, they are super quick and require a very special driving technique. Watch as the drivers brake hard to get that nose coming down and a bit of weight on the very narrow front wheels before they pitch them into the corners. And there is Stefan Rzadzinski for Canada. Alongside him is Alexander Rossi. Excuse me, it's Scott Speed who's come out alongside him. And it's gone to a green, and we are racing no jump starts. If there are any false starts, it's an immediate 5-second penalties, no restarts. Camera underneath, look at how the suspension is working.
That's a great shot.
drawing on the steering wheel from Rzadzinski. On the crossover, Scott Speed holds a very tenuous advantage.
Oh, well, Rzadzinski takes that first return really well. It was actually Speed who clung through it. You can see there taking a lot of curb as well on his way to that final turn. So is that going to pay into the hands of Rzadzinski? They come into the final straight, and once again, would you believe it, the Canadian, the man voted into this competition, takes the win and beats Scott Speed. Congratulations to Stefan. That was true class.
Stefan has got a better record than the Indy pole sitter from last year, his teammate James Hinchcliffe, and he at the moment is the only thing that's keeping Team Rock Factor Canada in the championship hunt. So he's got the Indy 500 winner as a scalp, and now last year's GRC champion. That's going to look great on his CV.
Amazing. Really, really good stuff from him. So, we take a breather here, and up next, only a very short breather, because we have the Busch brothers back in action, and Ryan Hunter-Reay as well. So that's Team USA NASCAR going up against Team USA IndyCar, both with 3 wins apiece.
Something's got to give here at the top of the table, because Rock Factor Canada are on 3 as well. So this is really important between these two. Both Busch brothers aren't in the car at the same time, of course. It's Kurt who has the driving duties.
He might drive around, Kyle.
Well, there's another seat there, isn't there? Kurt Busch on the right of our picture, Ryan Hunter-Reay on the inside. NASCAR versus IndyCar, and it is those two teams. This is not about personal pride. This is about racing for your team. Very neat indeed for the Kurt Busch-driven RX Light 4-wheel drive machine. Got to get them a little bit sideways to get them to rotate.
Oh, that's a close crossover, though. Way too close. If I was Ryan Hunter-Reay, I would be worried that Kurt Busch was too far ahead to actually go on and challenge for this. Let's see what happens as they come around the penultimate turn.
I think Busch may have the advantage as he comes to the final corner. He can't hit that inside curve. He hasn't. He's gone through. And that's NASCAR Nation taking a very important lead in Group A with 4 teams in that. They are the first to 4 points. And that is a step away, I reckon, from them going through.
Pretty impressive stuff. Ryan Hunter-Reay disappointed yesterday. Disappointed again as Kurt Busch pumps his fist and claps away for victory. You can see the passenger delighted there to be in the winning car, and rightfully so. You should be. What a race, what a ride, what a thrill.
Yeah, missed the gear on the way into the changeover area is not an issue. That's the gear lever. The big handle to our left is the handbrake, or the e-brake. Now it's Alexander Rossi for Team USA IndyCar against Kyle Busch for USA NASCAR. Now the way this works, Rossi needs this victory.
No pressure.
Tough car to drive as well. Revs rise on the rock cars. Turbocharged engines revving up. Now we go. Great start from Kyle Busch on the inside, but Rossi takes more speed into the first hairpin. He's on the home plate at the right field side of the ballpark.
Yeah, you can see Kyle Busch in that yellow outfit, Rossi in the blue inside those great cars as they come around this Miami circuit for the first loop and that all-important crossover.
I think Busch has a very handy lead there, Jenny. Over 1.5 seconds, and this could confirm Team USA NASCAR going forward into the semi-finals. Gets the car under braking a little bit. Well, he was a little bit circumspect there, and that's cost him time. And Rossi came back with a brilliant second half. Made a liar out of me, and Kyle Busch there, for some reason, not attacking the final corner at all and lost a huge amount of time.
Rossi will be delighted with that because he had to win. He had to win to be able to stay in this competition with Team USA IndyCar, and that's exactly what it did. So 4 apiece for USA IndyCar, 4 apiece for USA NASCAR as well. Plenty more action on the way from Group A, B and C here at the Race of Champions in Miami.
Just a reminder for the new viewers coming over to the stream, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe. If you want to donate, you can. There's a link in the description. You can also subscribe to my gaming channel. For now, I'm just going to play some annoying uncopyrighted music because I don't want to get copyright on the stream. So you guys obviously want to watch the stream, of course. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And hopefully we'll be back to the event soon.
A head, you should use it. Climb over the wall, break down all the doors when your future calls. Don't let nothing hold you down.
The new Suzuki Ignis, with 1 year's free insurance on Suzuki personal contract purchase.
City of Miami is playing host to the fantastic Rock Nations Cup. We're looking to crown the fastest nation on the face of the earth here at Marlins Park, and we're beginning to see a much better idea of where that might come from. IndyCar and NASCAR, well, they've been the cream of the crop in the A group. They will go head-to-head to get to the final. From the bottom half of the draw, Team Germany is a one-man team, but that man is Stefan Vettel, and he is going up against Team Colombia. And coming out next is that first semi-final, first run in semi-final B, as they're getting ready to roll, with Juan Pablo Montoya taking first duty, Jenny, for Team Colombia.
Yeah,
the
you put your winning
crown champion.
You put your winning man out, don't you? He's on form at the moment, so yeah, it will be Juan Pablo Montoya. Remember, he's partnering Gabi Chavez in Team Colombia, and as we said, Germany represented solely by Sebastian Vettel. Can he get out there and win again? He's unbeaten today, 4 wins from 4. Can he make it 5 from 5, or will that get taken away from him by yesterday's winner?
Now, it wouldn't be the end of the world if he doesn't win this, because as we move into the knockouts and out of the group stages, it is best of 3 as they come to the line. And this is where Sebastian Vettel will really earn his corn, because he's going to have to jump from one car to another. You don't necessarily stay in the same car heat to heat. Vettel for Germany, the weight of a nation on his and his shoulders alone. Red lights are on. Long hold, and there's the green. Vettel gets an absolute storming start, and he's left the Colombian Juan Pablo Montoya in his way early on. Now, can he convert? You can't afford to give an advantage to Sebastian Vettel in Nations Cup racing.
No, look at him, so smooth around this circuit here, taking that final turn for the first time. They go through the crossover, but I think Montoya's made up some decent time in that.
He's not ahead enough unless there's a mistake in the Atom Cup car. Montoya knows he's got it all to do. They've been watching. They know the kind of gap that you've got to make up. It's going to be tight round the final corner, but Vettel should have enough, does have enough. And the first blood in the semi-final goes to Sebastian Vettel. Well, that's really stamping his authority there, beating the man who took his championship away from him yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. The grudge match was on, and you can just see Sebastian Vettel very comfortable around this circuit, and really the fans here in Miami appreciating what he's doing. You can hear in the background they're all cheering him, and when he came out yesterday and today, they absolutely loved him, reacted really well to Sebastian Vettel, even though he's not one of the homeboys from America.
Let's go to Bob Varsha.
Well, this is really an extraordinary performance for Sebastian Vettel. Yes, he's a four-time Formula One world champion. Yes, he is the reigning, well, actually newly deposed champion of champions here in Miami. But now he is representing Germany alone when his teammate, Pascal Wehrlein, the youngest driver in competition, suffered a heavy accident in yesterday's individual competition and withdrew for precautionary reasons. It's been done before, as we've documented. Travis Pastrana has been a one-man team for the United States, but now Sebastian Vettel must quickly move to the front of the queue and get into another car to take up his next race challenge.
But not before we see the first of the battles in the other semi-final. This is Ryan Hunter-Reay racing for USA Team IndyCar against Team NASCAR. Kurt Busch with it, I think, already in the bag, but he must attack the final corner. Can't afford it. Oh, big slide from the stock car driver. Gets the cross-border KTM machine slowed down, but he's just held onto it. Just held onto it from Ryan Hunter-Reay. You saw just a slight slide there, Jenny, but it's amazing how quickly those big leads disappear. So that is first on the win column in the top half of the draw to the NASCAR Nation, who take a 1-0 lead against the IndyCar drivers. Sebastian Vettel for Germany. Can he make it through to the final? We'll find out soon. Semi-final. The arithmetic is easy. I'm not even going to call it maths, because it's arithmetic at this stage. One more win for Sebastian Vettel will put him in the final in an extraordinary turnaround of his luck and his fortune here this weekend in Miami. One win only in the Race of Champions individual yesterday. Gave up his Champion of Champion title to Juan Pablo Montoya, whose teammate he's racing now, Gary Chavez, in a car that has been with us in Race of Champions since 1999, the ROC car, the ROC buggy. And I've got to say, I think Sebastian Vettel is probably one of, if not the best exponent of this car.
Yep, you can see they are getting ready to go here at the Race of Champions in Miami. Vettel very relaxed at the moment, but very, very focused, waiting for the lights to go out. Will it be Vettel? Will it be Chavez? Will it be Germany? Will it be Colombia?
£1,000 of race car each side of the barriers as the lights go out, and Germany with Sebastian Vettel gets a fantastic start as he goes down in the first corner, but he crosses it up, and as he heads down the left field line, he lost a bit of momentum there.
Yeah, that'll be costly for Sebastian Vettel, but can Chavez make the most of that slip up from the German? You can see the car up and down, riding on that suspension. The crossover takes place, and I think Sebastian Vettel still has a healthy lead on this one.
But he's got to be clean in the second half. Look at how the economy of movement there, soaring in the wheel, takes a hand off to make the gear change, coming round the final corner. Chavez is right there, but he's not close enough, and Sebastian Vettel makes it 2 from 2 in the B semi-final, which means Team Germany, which is him, goes through to the ROC Nations Cup final at Marlins Park here in the city of Miami. What a turnaround, what a story, what a man. in Sebastian Vettel, who's come back from nothing yesterday.
Yeah, he'll be very happy to get that through without the tiebreaker needed. It gives him a little bit more time to collect his thoughts, relax before the final. If it had gone down to the wire, he'd have had to jump out of the semi-final car straight into the final. So good for Sebastian Vettel. Economy of usage, very important. He can have a little relax, just get his thoughts together and prepare. But out on track, there's more action still to come. The other half of the semi-final is ready to go.
Remind me who's got the advantage here?
Well, at the moment, it's pretty exciting because Ryan Hunter-Reay, Kurt Busch, Alexander Rossi, Kyle Busch. That is Kyle Busch ready to go against Alexander Rossi.
And NASCAR Nation has the advantage. A brand new car for Rock Nations Cup, the Fuel 05 Rock Edition. This is an old school fast road and race car. No electronic aids, H-pattern gearbox, no ABS or traction control. And the equation is easy for the IndyCar boys here. They have got to keep this alive by winning. And Alexander Rossi has done this before. When he's had to win, he's been able to do it across the crossover for the first time. It's a decent lead.
Yeah, really nice, smooth driving from Rossi. It looks like he's in control of this. He wants this to go down to the wire. So can he push through and see whether Kyle Busch, it's going to be tight as they come through. The better exit, though, from Alexander Rossi, and he has done it. He keeps them in the competition. Again, another close shave, but he proves he can do it for Team USA IndyCar. Congratulations. Fist pumps, waves. He's so cool and calm and collected is Alexander Rossi. So it's going to go down to the wire. Who will it be going through?
Well, they know who they're going to face. I mean, this is a playoff. It's win or go home. At the next time of asking for Team USA IndyCar and Team USA NASCAR, the NASCAR Nation winner was Kurt Busch. So by my reckoning, he should be getting into the next chariot, and it should be Alexander Rossi who gets into it for the IndyCar guys, and that's now been confirmed. Alexander Rossi and Kurt Busch. What I don't know is what car it'll be.
How quick is that turnaround? That is incredible. Rossi gets out of one car and straight into the next car. There's no time to rest, Alexander.
And already on raceofchampions.com, it's updated, so I've got it on my screen. You can watch on at home as well with the timing and scoring and all kinds of information. So Alexander Rossi and Kurt Busch in the rock cars for the right to go to the final. Ah, that's nice. That's nice. Right to go to the final, where they will face Team Germany in the shape of Sebastian Vettel. 6 times a Nation Cup winner.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Scott Speed is watching the action interestedly down in the crossover area. Let's head down to the bullpen now. Here's Neil.
Yeah, it's great to have Scott Speed here. I'm a big fan of your Rallycross work. Just give us an idea what it's like to be here, part of the camaraderie, the group of drivers that you're competing with.
Yeah, well, I mean, first I gotta say I've put on an absolute clinic here of exactly how not to do Race of Champions. Put on an absolute clinic here of exactly how not to do Race of Champions. To see all, you know, it's an incredible event.
And in terms of the clinic, what has been difficult?
It's fun ragging on these guys. Travis has done a great job. Pastrana always. It's fun ragging on these guys. Travis has done a great job. Pastrana always comes.
The word. Who do you think is going to take the Rock Nations Cup?
Vettel, because he gets. I hope we have a chance.
Are we driving together soon?
Yeah. Yeah, if, you know...
Peter Solberg joining in.
Yeah. So, in the America versus the world, batting cleanup in the Rallycross cars of Mr. WRX and GRC. So hopefully we get to battle each other, and that'll be some fun.
Thank you. Good luck.
Well, as Team NASCAR's Kurt Busch climbs in to meet Alexander Rossi in
ROC buggy here. Kurt's never been, and he was pretty quick. So I'm not sure the tables are on our side here. You know, you guys, it's a fun game. It's a lot of neat things and a lot of great guys you get to compete against, and some pretty cool cars you never get to drive very often or ever. And for me, it's just been a blast. So we're having fun here. Quick their win times are in order to be able to see what kind of lap time you got to run or expect to run in order to beat those guys. So I've been falling a little bit short here lately, and actually kind of all day, but I've been lucky in some of the races, the matchups that I've had, that I've been able to get through with even not being one of the fastest guys in those cars. So it's been working so far, but not here lately. Not when you get to the bottom of the bracket or the end of the
that Sebastian Vettel's getting so much.
So it's been working so far, but not here lately. Not when you get to the bottom of the bracket or the end of the bracket.
Okay, good luck to you and Kurt. Neil.
Yeah, I'm with Ryan Hunter-Ray, who's just kind of ruining the fact that Sebastian Vettel's getting so much seat.
Yeah, this is to get in right here. So we've had a few wins today. Hopefully we can make it to the semi or to the first time. We're just having a blast. So thanks to all the fans for coming out. Hopefully we get in there and make them proud.
With this stadium.
Absolutely. Bring my kids here for baseball games. It's great to have a racetrack in the center.
Watching racing and going 2 for 3 was pretty cool. Lost to Kyle Busch by 10, so I'm still kicking myself over that one because maybe we could have gone through to the next round. I would have loved to have been in the finals, but you know, I'm proud. I'm so thankful for the people who got me here, and hopefully I did them proud. Did all I could.
Tell us how that played out. How you got to be here.
So I was at a coffee shop and I submitted my entry on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and then January 4th I was sitting in my office at Front Check, which is a software company I work for in town, and then it said it was like a 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, and it says go get votes. You have 4.5 days, and my city got behind me and Canada got behind me, and we raised 9,300 votes in 4.5 days. That meant a lot to me. I could write a book about those few days in general, but to be here, like, this is what I want to be here, and I've been trying to really focus and trying to do what I know I can do, and I know I'm proud of myself, and just, yeah, so thankful to be here.
It's a great story. You proved you belong in this company. Congratulations.
Thanks so much, Bob.
Absolutely proved it. Alexander Rossi and Kyle Busch to the final to race this man, Sebastian Vettel, and that's next.
Just want to quickly apologise for that lag. I've fixed it now. Hopefully there should be no issues during the whole of the future of the stream. So yeah, just a reminder, please make sure you like this stream, subscribe if subscribed already. You can also donate. You can also subscribe to my F1 gaming channel. Links are in the description. I hope you guys enjoy the stream. I will do my best not to play some uncopyrighted music. So what I'll do now is I'll just show you some funny videos.
Cut the road in the pot that'll make you body pop and lock for sure. Yum, yum, yum. Sing it to me now. Yum, yum, yum.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
do Brasil de Fórmula 1, dia 5, 6 e 7 de novembro, no Autódromo de Interlagos. Ingressos pelo site oficial gpbrasil.com.br.
I done came down, tiptoeing in my Jordan. Just cop the Porsche, tiptoeing in my foreign. You motherfuckers boring, you sleeping on me snoring. Don't worry, cause I'm tiptoeing in my Jordan. I done came down, tiptoeing.
Tell me where the freak's at. Tell me where the freak's at.
Tell me, baby, are you?
He's now got to do battle for the NASCAR nation, Team USA NASCAR, with Alexander Rossi.
And a car he's not driven in this competition. Alexander Rossi does have some experience of this car going into this heat, and it is all or nothing for either of these teams going through to face Team Germany and Sebastian Vettel in the final of the ROC Nations Cup. Will it be Team USA IndyCar or Team USA NASCAR?
We're about to find out. Will it be one race or two? Rossi hopes it's two. Kyle Busch hopes he can close it out with just one more outing onto the track. And then the Busch boys have to take on the fearsome ROC Nations champion, 6 times a champion, and that's Sebastian Vettel, who is waiting for them. A one-man team this weekend after Pascal Wehrlein unfortunately wasn't cleared to drive after his role in the Champion of Champions yesterday. Right, where's your money, Jenny?
I am going to go with Alexander Rossi,
and
just because he has managed to pull it back from the brink.
The man with no nerves at all, certainly hasn't showed any. Alexander Rossi, very cool, calm behind the wheel. Kurt Busch having to try to hold back the young charger that is the IndyCar star. Kurt Busch having beaten Ryan Hunter. Oh, huge run off the line from Rossi. And gets the run down in the first corner. Now we'll wait to see if he timed that perfectly. If it's a jump start, it'll be at least a 5-second penalty. But let's for the moment watch the action. It'll be very close on the crossover here. His Busch is going to be chased down by Rossi and to go across the line for the first of 2 times.
Yeah, Rossi here looking very good. He's taking a lot of curve on his way around, not the smoothest, but you can see there's so much suspension in here. He's just dragging it and seeing what he can get out of this. They come round towards the final turn, and it's going to be a very big advantage for Rossi. Can he make that count as they cross the line?
As they come through this time, well,
Busch
what
has managed to turn that over.
Well, that's a shocker to me. Let's wait for that to be confirmed. 37.5 is a very good run in the ROC car. So there's Kurt Busch. Thought he'd done a little bit too much curb here. Gets to the inside. No penalty for that because he kept most of the car on the track. So that is an extraordinary drive for Kurt Busch. And that means for Kurt Busch, and that means the NASCAR boys are going through. Through to the final then for the NASCAR boys, and they will.
Transactions. Sometimes you're in credit. sometimes things are a bit tight. And some statements we receive don't always get put in the drawer. And the things you invest in,
how stressful or
the
demanding
assets you have, can't always be counted or cashed in.
It's a Friday for a Formula One driver, and did this unusual season change anything in your kind of working on Friday?
Friday is one of the most demanding days. Start quite early with engineering meetings, and you have all the testing all day long. So there's a lot of preparing technically for the weekend, for Saturday, Sunday. That's the most important period of the weekend. And then there comes what else? That's it really. A lot of technical stuff.
Check the radio volume.
Did you get that?
Do you check the radio volume?
Anyone else want to talk about Fridays? How stressful was it?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, it is obviously.
Friday, Malaysia, okay?
Engineer's room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday, Malaysia, okay?
Engineer's room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Debrief, I'll be there. Why didn't we have any grid goes today?
No idea. You're asking the wrong person. Many congratulations.
You go there and you park behind George or Dave. I mean, what's the point?
Everything perfect. No problems at all.
Were you low again?
Huh?
Were you low again? I'm joking. You can laugh as well. It was a joke. Come on, I mean.
I'm smiling.
Sebastian, obviously you know a bit.
Did you start waving 5 laps to go?
I didn't.
No, Menzel was the one who
that's like you didn't normally does
started
that.
waving the last lap.
You used to do that.
You topped him by doing it 5 laps to the end.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you just told me that you're waiting for the girls to come over with you in the Radisson Hotel, room number 7 or 8. But I think they've been standing all day, so I think they can sit down, no? I think you're free. Feel free to sit down. Sit down. Well, how do you say sit down in Russian? Make sure you take both of you out so I can go through. Yes? No? Try.
Nation of the IndyCar drivers. We thought we saw a clear winner there last time around, but there's been a bit of controversy, and Bob Varsha is on the scene. We'll go to him in a moment. Watch the car on the firsts, on the far side. It's rolling, it's rolling. Well, the red lights look out there to me, but it's a long jump from Rossi. And he's down with Bob Varsha and his teammate Ryan Hunter-Ray. Let's find out what the discussions have been.
With the event organizer, Frederick Johnson, Alexander Rossi got out of his car and came running to the front of the grid with his finger waving, telling the officials that Kurt Busch had jumped the start. He was joined by Ryan Hunter-Ray, his teammate in Team USA IndyCar. Frederick Johnson walked up. Juan Pablo Montoya, our champion of champions, is also in the discussion. Keep in mind, during the weekend, in order to protect the clutches of these cars, the drivers were given the ability to make a rolling start. You had about 2 feet of space to get the clutch engaged as long as you didn't cross the timing beams before those lights went out that John was just talking about. But right now, this animated discussion has been going on for some time. And as soon as it looks like we've achieved some kind of conclusion, let me see if I can get over to Alexander Rossi. Alexander.
Well, whilst Bob's there,
tell me what your discussion was about.
Well, he jumped the start and then he admitted to it, but there's no penalty, so.
Well, there you have it.
The video evidence, interesting. The lights looked out to me, but what we couldn't see was whether the green light was on. The red lights were definitely out. With Kurt Busch with a huge lead. He will be first out.
Well, they've labelled up Kurt Busch's car, and Sebastian Vettel is ready to go. Kurt Busch is in the car as well. So we will continue with the finals here at the Race of Champions for the Nations Cup. It will be Team Germany of Sebastian Vettel going up against the Busch brothers from the Team USA NASCAR. Who can win it? Well, we will find out in the next few minutes here at the Race of Champions in Miami.
Sebastian Vettel in the German colours, racing alone.
That's Kyle Busch. That's him getting ready for maybe the next round, but that is Kurt Busch.
Correct.
He will be first out on track of the two Busch brothers. It's a fast turnaround here, and I think Sebastian Vettel, he's only got one of him in Team Germany, so they're going to have to really keep on flip-flopping. He's going to have a lot of work to do because they don't have the same car. They have to alternate one car to the next, to the next.
Potential 3 runs. The Ariel Atom Cup car, and clearly making sure that he's happy in the car. The Haas Ford driver and the Ferrari Formula 1 driver. And this is exactly what Race of Champions is all about. Two drivers who normally would never be in the same postcode, the same state, or even from the same country, are going to be side by side, not for themselves now, but for their teams. The nation of Germany and the NASCAR nation, Team USA NASCAR.
Bet we've got a few people who like NASCAR. They're watching right now. Remember, you can have your say on #RockMiami. Who do you think is going to be victorious? Will it be Germany or will it be Miami? Who do you think is going to be victorious? Will it be Germany or will it be Team USA NASCAR? Remember, this is their home turf for the NASCAR boys. They love it around here. They live just down the road for many of them, and they brought a whole bucket load of fans as well to come and watch them take on the fabulous drivers from around the world that they have over the last 2 days. So Kurt Busch, as you can see there, just waving. They've both got passengers in the car. That's one of the experiences that you can enjoy here at Race of Champions, and what an experience it is. Can you imagine being next to Sebastian Vettel or one of the Busch brothers when it comes to the final?
This is how they've got through. Team Germany coming through from the bottom half of the draw. Group B and C with just 3 teams in, so just the top teams going through. They met in the semi-final, Team Colombia, and it was NASCAR versus IndyCar from the top, the bigger of the 2 groups, or 3 groups rather. Vettel on his own for Team Germany against Kurt and Kyle Busch, and it will be Kurt Busch who has the chance to get one over on the man who has the most Nations Cup Championship wins. However, he's not won without Michael Schumacher, and now he'll have to do it on his own. He's got this far. 6 wins for Team Germany, 6 on the bounce, consecutive victories. And now, can this, after a couple of years gap, be win number 7? The aerial atoms are rolling. The race is on. Kurt Busch nearest to... Oh, and a big slide from Vettel this time. Has curbed start as he did. It was the start that was being looked at last time around, but no penalty. As the crossover now, Jenny.
Yeah, through the crossover, Sebastian Vettel taking the lead round that penultimate loop as they go towards this finishing line. Kurt Busch versus Sebastian Vettel. Who can chalk up the first win? I think that Sebastian Vettel is looking in commanding fashion, but can he hold it?
Yes, he can, and that will be a very solid start. Still unbeaten today for Team Germany and Sebastian Vettel. Vettel will change cars, so that will take a wee bit of time. Team USA NASCAR has to come back with a victory. That means Kyle Busch has to be on his A game if we're going to take it to a 3rd and decisive heat here at Marlins Park. Well, Jenny, what do you reckon now? Rallycross car next. Can he do it?
Sebastian Vettel's going to have fun in this.
Can he do it?
Sebastian Vettel's going to have fun in this, whatever happens. He knows he's got the early advantage. He will like to get it done in 2, I would imagine, so he doesn't have to change cars once again. But can Kyle Busch have any say in this and put a stop to Sebastian Vettel's dominating day? Yet to be beaten here. And he's got the advantage as Kyle Busch of having just been able to sit there and watch Sebastian Vettel. He'll have watched him go round that circuit in the last heat and understand exactly where Sebastian Vettel's weaknesses are, where his strengths are. And Sebastian Vettel just having a little rest before he gets into that RX Superlights, just going to take a breath, cool himself down.
Yeah.
And maybe have a little bit of cushioning.
Well, you know, that's something, isn't it, that we haven't really talked about this weekend, Jenny, but normally these drivers at this level, they would have a seat moulded to them exactly for every car they drove, whether it was Formula 1, NASCAR, Rallycross or whatever. Because of the nature of the event, albeit it's a short event in terms of the times that you're in the car, but you're not going to be as comfortable. There's going to have to be a compromise in your driving position and possibly in how much you're moving around in that seat.
Absolutely, and yeah, as you say, they are done millimetre perfect for most of the drivers that are taking the competition this weekend. So having a wedge of foam underneath your bottom is slightly different. And you can see there Travis Pastrana alongside the Team USA IndyCar, and I think Alexander Rossi still a little bit bitter that it's not him in a car right now. Taking part in this final alongside Sebastian Vettel. But them's the rules, them's the breaks, and nothing wrong with what Kurt and Kyle Busch have done so far in this competition. It might have been a rolling start, but they didn't break the timing beam with what Kurt and Kyle Busch have done so far in this competition. It might have been a rolling start, but they didn't break the timing beam, so absolutely allowed. And unfortunately for Alexander Rossi, that has seen him and Ryan Hunter-Reay out of the competition.
That's going to be talked about at the after party this evening, I'm sure. So, here comes the big face-off, Kyle Busch and Sebastian Vettel.
Oh, I love that. Look, split screen. You can see both of them in the car at the same time right now. So far away.
Shot off back. I think he shot off backwards there for a moment.
Go ahead, mate.
Travis Pastrana. The Marlins Park Baseball Stadium transformed over a period of a week by hard work, ingenuity and fabulous engineering. The laying of gravel and asphalt to make sure that we have a world-class motorsport facility. Not just for the drivers, but for the spectators as well. A new style of track for Race of Champions with the crossover, and it's paid dividends and brought close racing here to Miami. Here comes the potential deciding heat. We could go to one more, and I kind of think the fans here would like that.
Of course we'd like it. We'd all like it to go to as many rounds as possible, but Sebastian Vettel may well have other ideas about that.
Sebastian Vettel has not been beaten in the Race of Champions Nations Cup today here in Miami. If he stays unbeaten, he will win this 2-0 over NASCAR Nation. Germany versus Team USA NASCAR. And Kyle Busch is the man standing between Team Germany and a 7th Race of Champions Nations Cup victory in the Rallycross cars. And we are racing. Pretty even start. Nothing to worry about. No controversy there. As Kyle Busch goes through the first right-hander down the left field line, down towards the bullpen. He's doing a lovely job.
Yeah, and they come towards the crossover at the moment. You can see them flipping through the gears.
Through across goes Kyle Busch as he heads down towards home plate this time. And now Sebastian Vettel has the shorter run to the line. Just 670 yards for the full race. And it's going to be close. It's going to be very close indeed. Can we get the NASCARs to walk further in? It's not going to be close enough. And Team Germany are perfect. Sebastian Vettel is perfect. And he has Germany and his 7th victory in the Race of Champions Nations Cup.
What a turnaround from yesterday. Sebastian Vettel, just one win to his name. And here he is, the winner of the ROC Nations Cup.
And his 7th victory in the Race of Champions Nations Cup.
What a turnaround from yesterday. Sebastian Vettel, just one win to his name. And here he is, the winner of the ROC Nations Cup. And you can be guaranteed that in his mind he will have done that for both Pascal Wehrlein, who can't be here today after a crash yesterday, ruled out competing on medical advice, and interestingly he has to really focus on his Formula One career, and also his special friend and the man that he idolised, Michael Schumacher. They won together here 6 times for Team Germany, and Sebastian Vettel has done it again on his own, but in his heart that will be for Michael Schumacher.
Nice bit of precision parking at the end as well. Sebastian Vettel unbeaten in the ROC Nations Cup here at Miami Marlins Park, and Germany have their 7th championship.
Mercedes-Benz C-Class from £299 per month.
My tree, he said. Have anything you like. But what if she orders the entire menu? Do something, fool. Yes, the £3 lunch. Encourage her. Big beef melt? Turkey and ham? How about a drink?
Turkey and ham.
Nice work, Casanova. 2 tickets for the love train. Subway.
Unserem Formel 1 Magazin vom belgischen Grand Prix, die am letzten Wochenende über die Bühne gegangen ist. Es gab 3 Geburtstage zu feiern. Zum einen mal den 34. Geburtstag von Gerhard Berger. 39 Jahre wurde Derek Warwick alt, und es gab auch den 50. Start von J.J. Leto. Und Gerhard Berger wurde da richtig eingeseift von Ayrton Senna. Der Österreicher meinte nur düster, das wird noch Folgen haben. J.J. Leto, der Sauberpilot beim 50. Start, erst das Geschenk. Guri Suzuki in den beiden Footwork-Mugen, die Überraschung des Trainings schlechthin. Suzuki 6., Warwick 7. schnellster. Für Ayrton Senna gab es nicht viel zu lachen, zumindest nicht im Abschlusstraining. Er wurde nämlich aus der 4.
From Japan TV, Fuji TV, and I'm just
Today at Marlins Park in the city of Miami. Let's go down to the winner and the beaten finalists. David Croft is on the start-finish line.
Well, to Kurt Busch and to Carl Busch, commiserations. Sebastian Vettel, Team Germany, well done, my friend. Nobody could stop you today.
Well, I had a better day than yesterday, let's put it that way. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that Pascal is missing. But yeah, I did my best. So I had a good day, clean day, no big mistakes. So the last round against Kyle, I was a bit nervous because I nearly bogged it at the start. I nearly, yeah, the revs dropped a lot. The car nearly stalled. So I was already a bit on the back foot, but then, yeah, came back, so really, really happy.
I don't believe you ever get nervous racing for Team Germany. Something about representing your country brings you alive. You don't get nervous, come on.
Of course I do. I mean, speaking to Petter Solberg earlier, he said he doesn't get nervous, but because he doesn't have any nerves, but I certainly have. So, drink them all. Yeah. But, yeah, it's good fun. It's just fun to be, you know, fun to be part of this. So I think we had a great time. Thanks for the people coming out. It's a great atmosphere. hope we come back here next year. I think it's been the best place we went so far. Not just for the weather, so yeah, it would be great to see everyone again next year.
I think the fans like that as well. Stay with us. Kurt, I don't know about not having any nerves. He just gets on your nerves today because he just can't be stopped. You came close, though.
We did. It was an unbelievable type of setting. Really enjoyed racing here at ROC in the stadium and represent NASCAR, USA, and then to have both Bushes in the final. One Vettel took down 2 Bushes. I was hoping 2 Bushes could take down 1 Vettel. Unbelievable atmosphere. Thanks for the fans for coming out. This is an awesome opportunity for us to be able to come out and have fun. Thank you. Really, thank you. South Florida. We love you guys.
Fantastic. Kurt, thank you very much. Kyle, I'll bring you in. I mean, not only representing NASCAR in the USA today, but racing alongside your bro. I mean, not only representing NASCAR in the USA today, but racing alongside your bro as well. That must make you feel great.
It certainly did. You know, we had a great day today. It was a lot of fun. You know, both of us going up against some of the best in the world, and the best right here with Sebastian. It was a lot of fun. I thought I had a leg up off the start, like Sebastian mentioned, you know, and I thought I ran a pretty clean lap. I must have given it up a little bit everywhere. So overall, just a neat experience, a lot of fun. This is my first trip to ROC, and it's amazing to have it here in the United States. It's certainly a pleasure and a lot of fun racing right down here in Miami.
And Sebastian, if I could turn to you, that's your 7th ROC Nations Cup title. For so many years, it was you and Michael Schumacher. I'm sure that there was an awful lot of you thinking about your great friend today while you were racing around and beating everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we started this journey together. He was helping me out most of the time in the beginning, so I was able to learn a lot from him. I think we all would have loved to have him here. So I think, in a way, you know, thinking about motorsport, racing, Formula One, our thoughts are with him. So we wish him obviously still the best, even now it's a couple of years. Yeah, I think we all miss him, not just me for Team Germany, but also I think you know, everyone of the drivers. He's always good company. He's very difficult to beat on track and very difficult to beat off track. So yeah. But overall, I think yeah, as I said, I was probably smart enough to pay attention when he was teaching lessons, so it helped today.
You certainly learned from the master. 7 titles is magnificent. You'll be back next year to try and make 8 absolutely great, I would imagine.
Wow, 8 and great sounds good. So, as I said, it would be nice to come back here. I don't know. Don't make us call you Jimmy Johnson. Why has he got 8? He's got 7. He's got
7. You'll get 8 next year if you come back and win.
No, exactly. I've got to go to 8 then. So I hope I can be part of this. It's always a real honor. It's good fun and a really nice event.
Sebastian Vettel, Team Germany, congratulations. Kyle and Kurt Busch as well. Well done to you guys. Commiserations for the runners-up. What a ROC Nations Cup that was.
Team Germany in 7th heaven with an unbeatable Sebastian Vettel. But what a great day of racing we've had for ROC Nations Cup. Not everyone got it pointed in the right direction. The guys from IndyCar came close and took it to a semi-final. Almost made it into the final runoff. But the team NASCAR Nation and the Busch brothers doing their country proud, but the unstoppable force that is Team Germany, and in particular Sebastian Vettel, just too good. After an off day yesterday, back strong for 2017's ROC Nations Cup, and he is our 7-time winner. Jenny, final thoughts from you.
Well, what a fantastic event it's been today. Sebastian Vettel just dominating once again and proving that when it comes to changing from one car to another, he is absolutely the king of it around this circuit and around the Race of Champions. It's just been such a special event. The Americans coming out in force as well. I've really enjoyed it. And John, it's just been a pleasure, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. The stadium's worked. The layout, which was a bit of a question mark, let's be honest, has worked. We haven't seen too many incidents at the crossover, but we've seen plenty of action and some very, very close finishes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gone down to the wire several times. 0.0027 seconds, I think, was the distance, the closest between 2 cars coming across that finishing line. That is a coat of paint, as John Hindhoff told me.
Barely.
Great day. Great day.
Barely a coat of paint. Confirmation then that Team Germany win through from the Race of Champions Nations Cup, overcoming everywhere else. We know once again that Team Germany and Sebastian Vettel in particular, well, they are that Team Germany and Sebastian Vettel in particular, well, they are the fastest country on the face of planet Earth. Now, for those of you watching on CBS Sports Network, we'll be sending you to regularly scheduled programming, coverage from the Race of Champions continuing internationally and here in the USA on Motor Trend 2018, and that you've got the right idea now about our head-to-head, moment-to-moment, minute-by-minute and inch-by-inch racing where every single millimetre counts. The Race of Champions and the Race of Champions Nations Cup is real side-by-side racing that puts the best against the best. Thanks, Miami. We'll now send you on CBS Sports to men's college basketball, St. Louis at Dayton. I'm John Hindhaugh. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next year. So that is Nations Cup for 2017. For those of you joining us around the world and in the USA on Motor Trend On Demand, don't go away, because Jenny, we've got something brand new and something I'm really excited to see. Nations Cup, okay, we kind of know that, but now it's everybody against the hosts.
It certainly is, because coming up next, for the first time in Race of Champions history, it is the ROC Relay America versus the world. It's, if you want to think of it as something else, it's like the Ryder Cup of motorsport. We have America, and then we have the rest of the world, and they're taking on each other. Team captains, I hear you say, who will they be? Well, they won't be in the car, they'll be conducting events on the wayside. It's Brian Vickers and David Coulthard will be going head-to-head with their teams. It's a full-star lineup for you. So, that's still to come. And Neil Cole is downstairs. He's been ferreting around with the drivers. What have you found for us, Neil?
Well, I have a Ryan Hunter-Reay and an Alexander Rossi. Just checking some of the facts there with Frederick Johnson. So he cooled down a little bit since the controversial decision.
Well, I don't know. I mean, no, it was, I mean, it's obviously a very highly competitive thing, and I felt the Kurt jumped the start. He alluded to the fact that he jumped the start, so I thought there should be a penalty. But at the end of the day, it was Team America going through no matter what. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think Ryan and I would have been able to beat Sebastian. So it worked out. It's a way better showing than we had yesterday, and hopefully we can carry that forward right now and beat the rest of the world.
Yeah, because Sebastian has looked incredibly strong today. How have you been enjoying the experience of Race of Champions this whole weekend on your home soil?
No, I love it, man. I've always wanted to do this, and it's such an honor to finally be here, and hopefully I can come back next year, wherever that location is, and try and do better. But yeah, like I said, it's a great experience and a great atmosphere, and Race of Champions did an amazing job here at Marlins Park in Miami.
I'm going to move slightly to the left here to get Ryan on board as well. Teammates, of course, up until now in Race of Champions, Rock Nations Cup, but now it all changes. Be your teammates again, USA against the rest of the world. Can you do it?
We can do it. We can do it. Absolutely. It's a pretty cool feature here where we're going to go up against the rest of the world. My first time doing it, so we'll see how it goes. I'm driving a car I haven't driven yet today, so it'll be an experiment for me. And the pairing should be pretty interesting here.
Thank you. Let's go to Bob. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Neil. Now, the leadership of Team USA against the world coming up shortly is Brian Vickers, who has now climbed in with Kurt Busch, who's been doing demonstration burnouts in his full-on Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series machine. Helmetless, Brian, what are you thinking?
That is brave. That is faith right here. And then, well, I was fine with it until he put one on. I'm like, why are you putting on a helmet if I don't have one? Hey, look, we're going to go out there and have fun. I trust Kurt. I've raced with him long enough to know he's going to do a good job. I got the honorary job of being Captain America today, so we put together a good team. We're going to have fun with it. I wasn't even planning on being here, and I'm glad it worked out. I want to thank Frederick and everyone at ROC for making it happen. We're going to go have some fun.
Fingers in your ears. Enjoy.
Wait for the V8. Oh, music to my ears.
It's a nice sound, isn't it?
Could I have that as my alarm? That would get me up in the morning, every morning. There'd be never a problem.
And your neighbours.
Yes.
And their neighbours. Maybe the whole street.
But fair point, well made and beautifully presented, Jenny Cow. the number 41 is going to carry our non-driving captain out to the centre of the arena.
So, let me run through who's in the teams for each.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Am I peeking too soon?
No, well, let's see the. I want to see the NASCAR go out first. So let's have a bit. There's bound to be a burnout here.
Well, there is.
All right, here we go.
Bound
let's have a look at this as he comes round. Oh. Yeah, we've got Aaron on the motorbike as well. So we're pulling out all of the big guns.
Come on, where's Terry Grant then?
Terry Grant is there as well. I've no doubt at all. That's Aaron Colton, who is on the KTM. He's got the Ford Fusion, number 41, has a racing car in front of him with Brian Vickers, our American team captain. The rest of the world captained by David Coulthard, which means he don't believe he'll be racing. He's a non-playing captain, and he is being delivered by a Range Rover, terribly British of course, and Terry Grant. Coulthard on the high side with the Union flag, and Terry Grant giving David the ride of his life here. Around the home plate hairpin and heading towards the back straight.
I thought I was going to go then.
Terry is a past master, and I think David will be quite pleased that he isn't going to be driving after Terry has delivered him in some style in that SVR Range Rover. Terry Grant, holder of over 20 Guinness World Records for precision and stunt driving. David's still smiling at the moment, not sure for how long.
Well, it depends if the rest of the world win, I suppose.
Well, it depends what Terry's got in store for him here. In there somewhere is a Union flag and team captains. And the team captains of any sporting event being delivered to their starting positions with any more pomp, circumstance and aplomb than what we have seen just there.
Next to him, Brian Vickers, as you say.
Aaron Colton getting in on the act on the KTM.
Kurt Busch using up a fair whack of rubber in that. Like it. Right next to him, Brian Vickers, as you say, the team captain for Team America. And there is Aaron Colton doing his stuff on the bike.
Brian Vickers without the helmet on. Very brave man indeed, especially given his chauffeur has got the helmet on. I think caused a bit of consternation at the start of that. An American flag needs to come round to the start line.
Oh, that's grunty, isn't it? Number 41, loving it. The Ford Fusion NASCAR there. And there we go, the American flag is lifted on top of that number 41 car as Kurt Busch and Brian Vickers do a half lap of this circuit in front of all of the fans who have come here to the Race of Champions Miami, a brand new format for the America versus the World competition. Sebastian Vettel in dazzling form, he'll be in the world category. Can America, the whole of America, stop Sebastian Vettel and all of those other teammates that will line up alongside him? And there we go, the two cars lining up. Terry Grant just jumping out, David Coulthard holding aloft. David Coulthard holding aloft.
So these are the preliminaries, the formalities, if you will, before we get back to racing. And the guys on the start line ready to make their presence felt as far as coaching and mentoring the drivers. Now, trying to get racing drivers to do anything that you tell them, even if you're a teammate or a team manager, is a bit like herding cats. So I have no clue how Brian Vickers and David Coulthard are going to actually manage their team. So this is brand new. This is America versus the rest of the world. David Coulthard on the left with Travis Pastrana, who is standing in for Brian Vickers. And this is America against the rest. The matchups yet to be given to us in what's called the Race of Champions relay. America versus the rest of the world, and the face-off in the press conference. Some drivers take it a little more seriously than others. The team captains have chosen, Jenny, how they want their first teams to run out.
Yes, this is hot off the press at the Race of Champions relay. So first up will be Kyle Busch versus James Hinchcliffe. Then it's Pastrana, Pablo Montoya, going on to Hunter Ray and Christensen. Speed versus Castroneves, Busch and Massa. And finally Rossi versus Canan. 1 point per round.
Then if we need to go further on, it'll be Kurt Busch against David Coulthard. So he is coming out to drive, and that's because Pascal Wehrlein isn't available. The Ariel Atom Cup car for Pastrana and Vettel, and Busch versus Jensen. But if we have to go to the final 3 points round, then we will. The drivers being chosen by their respective captains depending on what cars. The cars were set first and the crossbar was first up, so then the captains have decided who they were going to put in them. So we are off and running, and James Hinchcliffe for Canada, representing the rest of the world, is up against Kyle Busch with the Stars and Stripes on the top of the KTM crossbar. Now these first round matches are worth a point, and the first team to 8 points is the winner of this part of the competition. First time we've done this, so we're all taking steps into the unknown, except maybe the drivers, because at least they've driven the car before.
Yeah, absolutely. If they come round to that final corner, it's going to be very tight by the time they get to that line. Oh, I tell you what, it's convincing by Kyle Busch in that yellow outfit. Very, very nice for Kyle Busch. He almost made it through to the Cup of Nations winners spot. Still hot off there. I tell you what, we've got a winners spot. Still hot off there. I tell you what, we've got a captain lined up for you. It's David Coulthard.
That's right, Team World Captain David Coulthard. David, quick question. Yeah, she was worth a kiss up there, I suppose. How do you decide who gets in what car for your team?
Well, you know, I sat down with the team, looked at the times from yesterday, who was more suited to what car, and then, to be honest, they kind of picked itself. We've got 2 or 3 guys in the team that have been good across all of them, like Felipe Massa, for instance, and, you know, therefore he was the guy that would maybe give one that wasn't quite so strong for the others, but I think we've got this, although we just lost the first one there to America.
And what are you going to drive?
I'm going to go in the NASCAR, because I haven't gone up against Kurt.
Live for the first time. It's Kyle Busch again with the advantage over James Hinchcliffe. So they come back for another go. The crossbar again as they head down towards the final corner, and who takes the better exit from the final corner? Looks again to me as though Kyle Busch has put one over on James Hinchcliffe, who's not having a great second day of the tournament.
So 2 wins to Kyle Busch. Just have a look at him. You can see Hinch there, and there is Kyle Busch. Very, very happy man as he goes around, just lifts his visor for everybody to see. It's 2-0 to America then. So they have a point for each of the wins and 2 points for Kyle Busch now.
So America take the early lead. Now we've heard from David Coulthard. He's opposite number is Brian Vickers with Paul.
All right, Team USA Captain Brian Vickers survived his ride with Kurt Busch, and he is ready to conduct his team. I'll ask the same question I asked David Coulthard. How did you decide who drives what car?
I didn't. I just flipped for it. Well, a couple of things. One, we started last night, couldn't decide. I got my drivers together this morning. It was like herding cats. We made no progress. And then after everyone left the room, we kind of started moving it around a little bit after I got a chance to look at his sheet.
And you pretty much have conceded, haven't you?
No, you haven't. No, we haven't. Look, we're already leading. Kyle Busch just won the first race, so we're in the lead. And best I can tell right there, coming off the line, we've got America in the lead already.
All right, I'm going to have to let them decide this between themselves. We need to get back to the call.
Well, the other side of the road, but I'll tell you what, Pastrana is getting every inch of this out. They come around to the final turn, a bit of a sideways action for them, and it's gone the way of Juan. Well, the other side of the road, but I'll tell you what, Pastrana is getting every inch of this out. They come around to the final turn, a bit of a sideways action for them, and it's gone the way of Juan Pablo Montoya, the Colombian, for the rest of the world. So, one apiece, neck and neck.
And that is just testament to how good Juan Pablo Montoya has been. Crowned champion of champions yesterday and backing up that form here in the US versus the world relay as they come back to the line again. A little bit of a wild ride from Montoya. Terry Grant might have some competition there up on the two wheels.
Might have some tips.
So, second run. Remember, if he repeats, then he will take the point. Each of the first round heats are worth a point. The 6 first round heats, and then we move into a 2-point round, and if necessary, a 3-point decider. So these early rounds are important to get points on the board.
Crossover happens, and it looks to me like Juan Pablo Montoya once again out in front. You can just see that Pastrana really trying to get the best out of that ROC supercar line. They come round towards the arch. It's going to be very close once again as they come round. Most of the speed with Montoya as he manages just to get out of that faster, and Montoya does it. And his flag flutters off into the distance as he crosses the finishing line. But well done. 2 wins to Montoya, so he collects the point for the world.
Marlins Park here at the city of Miami. We've got a point apiece for the American team versus the rest of the world. Up next, Ryan Hunter-Reay versus Tom Christensen.
There are talkers and there are doers. Talkers talk. Doers do things that get talked about. Talkers think about the future. Doers are building it now. Talkers can imagine the feeling. Doers know the feeling.
With fuel costs from 2p per mile, the
TV personality and not news reporter, so
I see.
relax.
So let's make a picture together.
I heard Mr. Nakajima told me you're learning Japanese.
Oh,
セナさん日本語勉強してるそうなんです。日本に来るために。Can you tell me something?
very difficult. One of the words, konnichiwa, arigato. I also learn, Anaite ureshi desu.
嬉しいです。
That's okay, so few words.
嬉しいです。ぜひ勝っていってほしいですね。I want you to say when you win the game 嬉しいです。You're
Yes,
happy.
I hope so.
And I've been a big fan of you, and many Japanese girls are fan of you. もうセナさんのファンは日本にもたくさんいると思うんですけれどもね、本当にこう近くで私の方が緊張してるんですけれども。How's your condition today?
My condition is good and should be hard tomorrow, but I'm very happy. And I hope all the Japanese girls come to the Suzuka race to look after us and cheer up us.
Okay, sure. 日本でね、絶対に日本の女の子にたくさん応援してほしいし、頑張ってほしいというふうにセナさんはおっしゃってました。Come and see Japan and see you in Japan.
Thank you. A little kiss. Bye bye. Another kiss.
もうこの日は眠れませんでした。
Far behind, I was right with him.
You weren't side by side.
But I was right behind with him. He moved to the inside line, going towards the first corner. I just chased him then, and he opened the gap. And knowing me, like he does know, he must realize that if there was a gap, I was going to try to overtake him. And under those circumstances, he should never have opened a gap in the first corner and then come back again. Because by doing so, he opened the gap, gave the gap, and then closed it. And in that circumstance, there was no way to avoid an incident.
Right, but that only happened, Ayrton, because you saw the gap, and I accept that, you're a racer. But a mature racer has to also think, if he closes the door again, we're going to have an accident. And in fact, that was a high-speed entry. So it could have been a very serious accident.
It's about the scene in Miami as well. Miami Nights meets the Race of Champions, with the stars taking a little breather downtown to take in a little bit of the unique atmosphere that is the city of Miami. The fastest city, the best racing in the world have come together to make a perfect marriage. And all of the drivers have enjoyed their time here in South Florida. And the racing's pretty cool too.
Ryan Hunter-Reay versus Tom Christensen. This is America versus the world. The first heat here, and you can see Ryan Hunter-Reay taking a nice smooth line, and TK there. Well, he has pedigree at the Race of Champions. 15 times he's been here.
And he is a past master at this ROC car as well. This car has proved itself in all conditions, including snow one year in the Race of Champions. No hint of that here, of course, with the roof closed at Marlins Park. Tom Christensen with his trademark grimace on the open face helmet. His helmet will take this one and go 1-0 up against Ryan Hunter-Reay, but that doesn't capture the point for him just yet. Each of these points run over the best of 3 heats.
Yeah, absolutely. TK really getting to grips with this circuit here in Miami. Let's pop down Bob Varsha.
Well, this is a little embarrassing, frankly. Helio Castroneves and Scott Speed are talking over what just happened as they pulled down to the end of the pit lane, next on track in their Voul 05s. Speed somehow did not get stopped in time and went right into the back of Castroneves' machine. You should be able to see the damage there. Rear end damage on Castroneves' car, front end damage on Scott Speed's. Both drivers and their passengers are out of the car. I guess they'll switch to something else.
Off we go for the second of potentially 3 runs to decide the next points here in America versus the world. Tom Christensen already he's doing good here, so he's got half a point, if you will. He's got his hand on it.
Such a smooth driving style, isn't it, from Tom Christensen? And you can really see a Ryan Hunter-Reay for Team America really battling with the car. And if you just watch TK Lou in motion as he goes around this Race of Champions circuit towards the final turn.
Oh, he hit the curb on the inside, but he's got enough of an advantage. He always looks so dramatic behind the wheel, but that will take the world a point ahead. Tom Christensen with that winning finger. Very happy indeed.
It's amazing how quickly that grimace turns to a smile, isn't it? And back to a grimace.
When he's pushing hard, it really is. Don't forget, you can follow along at www.raceofchampions.com. All the timing and scoring on there. You can get the same information as Jenny and I have here in the booth. And if you're going to be tweeting about this new America versus the World part, use the hashtag ROC Miami. I just think there's a bit of insurance information being swapped down there after that rear end down in the car changeover area.
Now, the question is, can they get 2 more Vouls, brand new car for Race of Champions this year, into the stadium quick enough? Because Speed and Castroneves are up next. They are writing their insurance claims as we speak.
And even as we say that, if you're on www.raceofchampions.com, you'll see that Kurt Busch and Felipe Massa are ready to go in the Radical SR3 RSXs. Now, that's what it says on the screen, and my eyes don't deceive me. That's what's been lined up as well. That information coming to me exactly at the same time as you could have seen it back home on raceofchampions.com, so make sure you check it out. Look at this.
Well done, DC says. That was amazing. The team captain and, you know, his little boy going out there. Oh,
Petter as well.
The world very happy with their 2-1 advantage of Team America. But what next? Can the Americans bring it back? Because, as you say, Kurt Busch is about to take to the line against Felipe Massa.
A little bit of movement in the cars there because of the slight coming together as the previous drivers were coming in. Oh, lovely flick turn there by Felipe as he heads to the line, trying to warm up brakes and tyres. Felipe Massa, who was pretty fired up at the end of yesterday and will be a feisty character here. Remember, all of the first 6 matchup between the drivers are worth a single point. When we go into round 7, we're racing for 2 points at a time, and if we need the final round, that will be for 3. Felipe Massa on the inside gets a perfect launch, and Kurt Busch wasn't that far behind him as Busch comes down to the home plate hairpin and turns off down the right field line. He's got his work cut out here, but remember, this is the best of 3 to take just 1 point. It's a lot of work to get just 1 point.
Yeah, they come round under the arch. The first man to come round is Felipe Massa. He takes the crossover. Then through comes Kurt Busch, and they're already round for their penultimate loop here at Marlins Park.
Kurt Busch with a 2-second deficit to make up, and I don't think the shorter side is that much shorter. Felipe Massa comes into the final corner now, and he's just got to keep it tight. Oh, he clips the wall again. That cost him a round earlier on, but it was barely a touch this time. In fact, was there just a tiny paper's width between the right rear wheel of the Radical SR3? There's a little bit of tape hanging from the front here. So here he comes out. I watched the white and orange car. He liked, no, you see, just lifted off a little bit. That's what he didn't do yesterday. That got him the 5-second penalty, but this time he gets first blood in his battle.
Yeah, he watched and he learned. And now they go for round 2. Can Massa make it a clean sweep? Is up against Kurt Busch.
Lights are out. Oh, Busch gets a tremendous start. Into second, back down to first again as they go around the hairpin. This time it's Massa that goes through the home plate hairpin and heads off towards left field, and the bullpen is the aim for Kurt Busch. They'll come together in centre field, and Busch should have an advantage.
Yeah, Busch just slightly heavier and earlier on the brakes than Felipe Massa. That may be the finesse of an F1 car. Who knows, but as they come out through the wash, let's see what happens. Felipe Massa takes the penultimate turn, and then does Busch, and they come round under the arch. It's going to be very close because the speed carried from Busch, but no, Massa's done it. So, congratulations to Felipe Massa, and he takes another point for the world. That, by my reckoning, is 3-1 now against America.
Yeah, and America need to get some more colour on the Ryder Cup of Motorsport, if you will, as these guys are playing it out here at Marlins Park in the city of Miami. This has really been just building up nicely. There's been not a lot of talk about this between the drivers, Jenny, but I get a certain sense that the Americans, with racing champions on their home turf for the first time, do not want to lose this. They want to feel as though that they can compete. There's the tail of the tape at the moment, 3-1. The rest of the world lead America, and Scott Speed is up next. Can he take a point?
Well, the cars coming to the line is the Polaris Slingshot SLR. Once again, we've had a carryover of the Buell, not quite ready to go, so Speed and Castroneves just waiting a moment. It'll be Rossi versus Canaan. Rossi in good form today. He's had a real recovery drive after yesterday and the Race of Champions. Got robbed in the Nations Cup as he's concerned, but can he turn things around and make up for it? He will be fired up right now as America try to get their second point on the board.
Brand new for 2017, the Polaris Slingshot. Brand new for 2017, the Polaris Slingshot. Rear wheel singular, driving the cars forward towards the first corners. Left for Canaan, takes it, balancing the car on the throttle. A lot of work on the steering wheel here. It's a very clever bit of engineering. The back end, the single-sided swing arm, driven as a motorcycle onto the hub. And it has an element of counter steering built into these cars, which the drivers are still looking to exploit to the best.
Yeah, so Rossi comes round, then followed by Canaan. This is going to be tight as they come towards that penultimate turn. They head towards the arch, the final turn, and that drag finish. Who will it be, Rossi or Canaan? Rossi's catching up, but it's Canaan who takes it. So another one for the world.
Wow.
And what the world are showing for the Americans. And my goodness, you could just hear this quietness in the stadium because people want the Americans to win. This is Marlins Park. This is their home turf.
So that's the first of potentially 3 runs for these two drivers. And the pressure goes on to Alexander Rossi. But we've seen in the past, both in the Race of Champions and the Nations Cup, that Alexander responds well breathing a little bit heavily there. He's having to work hard, wheeling the Polaris slingshot. The cool, calm, collected and focused eyes of Tony Kanaan as we're ready to go racing for another point in America versus the rest of the world. Green light, right field line. Kanaan looking very smooth.
Visor open.
I like that. Right field line. Kanaan looking very smooth.
Visor open.
I like that. He's decided he doesn't need the darkened visor. It should be Kanaan who crosses first. Rossi, though, has him in sight.
Yeah, they come around for that penultimate. We have a warning for Tony Kanaan. He's obviously clipped one of the barriers. Another one will be a 5-second penalty. So can he keep it clean?
Has to keep it clean because he hasn't got enough in hand. In fact, he's behind here. He's not going to win it anyway. And Rossi gets the win when he needed to. Now, that puts it at 1-1 in the head-to-head between these two, so we go for a third and decisive run, and the crowd respond there. They know what that means. The crowd respond because this goes to a decider to see where the point goes. Will it be the US or the rest of the world?
And what about that penalty, John? Does it hold over? Does it disappear?
I think it disappears, but Tony's been spotted.
He'll have to be a bit more careful, bit more clever this time, and a bit tighter.
Well, we're hearing now if there's another infraction, it will be a 5-second penalty. So in this rest of the world versus the States, the driver's been scrutinised. They've had a lot of time on the track now, so there's no real need for them to be banging these cars around and hitting the walls. Kanaan then has to know that he's... Oh, there was a slightest of around and hitting the walls. Kanaan then has to know that he's... Oh, there was a slightest of touch there with the right front wheel from Kanaan. Have the judges seen it? Was it enough to get them interested? As he comes round, he will have Rossi in sight, and Rossi's got the advantage. Is it big enough?
Yeah, at the moment, well, the Americans have the... they are trailing, and the world has the advantage. Can Rossi make this count? Can he get another point for the Americans? He comes towards that final turn. He will carry more speed in. Can he control the car? He can.
Oh, look at that.
And he has done it. Alexander Rossi once again manages to come back from the breaches, and he has made it 2-3. Well done to him for managing to just try and eke things back. So it's the world with 3 points and America with 2 points, and hopefully up next we will have Speed versus Castroneves in the Buell 05 ROC if they've managed to sort the cars out after that slightly embarrassing shunt. And if I look down at the change area, that's not the next car.
Well, that's a big point for the Americans. Now, earlier on this week, Miami Marlins second baseman D. Ray, big fella strapped in, ready to go, and Ryan Hunter-Reay not holding back here as he headed off with the second baseman. Now, this is the sort of area of the track where D does his best work on the second base area. And he was delivered back by our DHL driver very nicely. And he's been hanging about this weekend as well. Had a great time earlier on in the weekend. Very different look to his home stadium this Saturday and Sunday. So, Jenny, we move on again, and the selected drivers by the two team captains are heading out.
So it's Kurt Busch for the Americas and David Coulthard, team captain, stepping into the Wheeler NASCAR for the next heat of this. 1 point up for grabs, 3 rounds to see who can do it. Let's see.
The biggest engine, the most powerful car, 5.7 V8 for 450 horsepower. It's 2,600 pounds, and we're racing. Coulthard loves this car. That might be a bit of a surprise for you, but he's up against Kurt Busch, who really should be pretty adept at throwing the big thing around. Coulthard, of course, has done a lot of driving, even since he retired from Formula One.
Although he claims he's a little out of sorts for this one, but don't believe everything that you hear from David Coulthard, because he is still point perfect as they come round the penultimate corner, heading towards the ROC arch. This is going to be fairly close, John.
Coulthard's going to bring a lot of speed. It's going to be very close, not just a bit close. I couldn't split them on the line, and the timing screen has them down to .0048 in the favour of American Kurt Busch.
Told you it'd be fairly close.
You were absolutely, that's fairly close. In your
We're getting closer.
Your very understated home county's way.
Well, I try. Got to bring a touch of class to proceedings somewhere.
Well, you have
Not
when you've got me next to you, certainly. Right, start line. Here's how close it was. It's the leading edge.
Ooh.
Wow. I'm pleased we've got 4 decimal places of timing. We're off to do it again. David Coulthard needs this one. He got a really... We're off to do it again. David Coulthard needs this one. He got a really good launch, hooking up the rear tyres of the Whelen Euro Series NASCAR. As he heads down the right field line.
Really throwing that car around. You can just see how much he's enjoying it. So with a crossover, it'll be Kurt Busch. He should take it first. But I tell you what, David Coulthard is not far behind him. This is going to be maybe even closer.
He was just looking at the front wheels, David, as he went into that right-hander. He's heading out towards the bullpen. And then it's right and right again. Onto centre field. Oh, he's hit the curb. But he's got enough of an advantage. It's going to go to a decider. Well, what a way to earn a point. They're all going to make it as hard as possible.
3 points for the world, 2 points for America. So can the Americans level things up with Kurt Busch in that car? Or can David Coulthard, team captain for the rest of the world, do what he set out to and just eke a little bit more of an advantage over the Americans? Remember, the first team to reach 8 points is the winner.
Oh, bit of deep staging there by Kurt Busch. Bit of drag racing knowledge maybe there. Now, this is where the point will go. Look, the winner here. A super start again from Busch. He's timing those lights so well today. Has he been taking lessons from John Force? Not sure. But my goodness, that was right on the money. He heads down past us. David, he's on his way towards the bullpen. He's got the shorter run to the line, so he'll come across the line first, but has he amassed enough of an advantage?
Had to do a bit of correction as he came into that crossover, just took it a little bit too early, so that'll slow him down. Kurt Busch looking a little bit clunky around that turn, but I think he'll try and just level things out as they come towards that final turn.
Can't afford to take too much curb on...
Level things out as they come towards that final turn.
Can't afford to take too much curb on these cars, they're very big. Coulthard gets the run, Coulthard gets the run! Does he get the point? My goodness, it's close! No, it's Busch! It's Busch who takes it by .0403 of a second, and we're tied after the first 6 heats. America 3, the world 3.
Whew.
Here's how it stacks up so far. The 1 point heats are done. We're racing for 2 points when we come back. Kassan and Massa.
Damn girl. Damn girl. The way she give me pain. I'm in the lane switching lanes. I won't ever be the same.
The 2017 season is just around the corner, and it's not just the drivers who need to up their fitness levels and get in shape. In a sport where every millisecond matters, the pit crews need to be in top condition as well. And we have come to Williams, winners of the 2016 DHL Fastest Pit Stop Award, to see what the training for the pit crew involves.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us.
What does it mean to win the 2016 DHL Fastest Pit Stop Award?
It means a lot. It means a recognition of a year's training, effort, teamwork. It's a great feeling, and it shows everyone how much work we've put into it.
We had a tough year on the track, so for us, especially in the garage, to win that and absolutely dominate it with 14 wins I think we had in the end, it was pretty special.
It was kind of a proud parent moment in some ways, knowing the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes, the training, all the data analysis, the designers back at the factory, all the hard work that's gone into those pit stops and all the training sessions.
What changed so dramatically over the winter? Because in 2015 you weren't on the DHL board at all, but yet in 2016 you absolutely dominated it.
That's going to go down really to the equipment. We had a full retake of everything basically in the equipment wise, and we did start training a lot harder for it and more practicing.
There was a lot that went into it, right down to, you know, the real bare bones of the pit stops, so even down to procedural mapping and looking at everything that we did from the moment that pit stop is called right through to the analysis that we do afterwards. So the training and the physical and the fitness side of things is one element of that. But yeah, it was obviously of particular importance because of how physically demanding the pit stop is.
And is there a lot of rivalry between you and the other teams? Whenever you look up and down the pit lane, are you determined to beat each other?
Yeah, it is. I think it's quite a bit of rivalry, especially we had Red Bull next to us, and you could hear them if they did a good pit stop during the race. You'd hear them cheer a little bit. So we pushed us on for our next pit stop to try and beat what you see on the TV.
We don't want them bragging any more than us, so it's ours and we want to keep it, and it's been great to be dominant as well, because we're more of a team that go about things quietly and get on with it, but yeah, we get fired up when we hear Red Bull and other teams shouting their mouths off.
3, 2, 1, go!
Is there real camaraderie between all you guys in the pit crew?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. There's competition as well, we all compete with each other, but we are actually genuinely like a bunch.
Absolutely. So coming up to the line, this is the delayed heat next up. It's Speed versus Castroneves. Of course, they have that lithium crossbow. They come up to the line. You will see Sebastian Vettel in just a few moments. But the first of the 2 pointers are these two men. 23 times IndyCar race winner, Helio Castroneves, and Scott Speed. He's been in so many different championships. He excels in many of them, but can he do the same today? That's Travis Pastrana. He's getting ready to take on Sebastian Vettel next time out. A few little last-minute tips there from Kurt Busch.
3-3 is how it stands at the moment. At the end of this, one of the teams will be on 5 points. The first of the 2-point heats then, Scott Speed in the black KTM crossbow. Had a little bit of a nip and tuck, and been to the gym a bit, this car, for Race of Champions this year, up to 355 horsepower, down to 1,700 pounds, and it's been a real competitor this weekend.
Speed by rights has said he has not had the best of weekends so far. Everything that could have gone wrong has. Has he got the motion in that KTM crossbow to get it across the line and beat Castroneves? That's the question.
Castroneves very close to the DHL signage there as he turns it in to come to the line, and it's going to be Castroneves who takes it for the first of the heats.
Lovely sideways action there towards the end from Scott Speed. Not sure it got him too much of the pace, but let's catch up with exactly where we are with this round so far. America versus the world. Castroneves for the world. That's the first of the rounds of heat. So that's where we are so far. 3 apiece. Busch winning. Pablo Montoya winning as well. And then we go into the 2-pointer rounds with Scott Speed and Castroneves going head-to-head at the moment. If it goes to the final, well, it says it will be Scott Speed versus Petter Solberg. That is a big call.
Big
and we'll
call.
have to see if that still stands.
Big call from the American captain as we're off and running. And that black car looking very nice indeed. Scott Speed was very tidy there, but was he quick enough, Jerry?
I have a feeling that maybe Castroneves missed a gear in this because he was very slow up, but this is a crossover and it's almost going to touch.
Wow, first time we've seen one that close. Advantage is given to the car coming across from the faster exit lane, which is driver's left, unusual, of course. Many of these guys are used to priority from the right. Lovely drift in the final corner, just held by Castroneves, but Scott Speed is down the road and finished, and will take that for the USA.
Yeah, 1 apiece for Speed and Castroneves. They'll go at it again, but Castroneves definitely has a problem with that KTM crossbow. At some point during that race, he just either lost a little bit of transmission or he lost a gear. He's just putting it back to try and come in, and this is the almost came together at the crossover. Look how close it was. You can just see Speed just there in front of Castroneves. Castroneves having to lift once again. That was costly. Let's see, has Castroneves got a problem with that car? They can't change it. What happens out there stays out there, as you can say.
Just like real racing, once the green light or the green flag is dropped, You can't ask for them to rerun the race. So, 2 points on the line. Oh! Caught and stopped from Helio Castroneves. He may have gotten away with that. We wait for the steward's decision. Looked to have got a decent launch, but only a decent one. Sliding that car around a little bit too much, perhaps. I wonder if he's slightly been put off his stride by that problem earlier on.
Well, he comes to the crossover. Scott Speed takes it well in advance. He is away from this, and it looks like it'll be another point for the Americans. Castroneves certainly not being able to get that KTM crossbow gliding as he would want it.
Gets very close to the wall on the far side of the circuit from us. It's going to be closer than I thought, as through comes Castroneves. Where's he got that from? But Speed has held on to it, and Speed brought all of the momentum out of the final corner and had to use it broadside all the way down the front straight. What a way to take the points. America 5, the world 3.
That was impressive from Castroneves to be able to come back from that deficit on that second part of the lap. Totally. So it is America coming back at the rest of the world. You can see there Pastrana's reaction to that, clapping, and rightfully so, because it's 4-3 now to the Americas, and Brian Vickers, the team captain, must be incredibly happy somewhere.
5-3, Jenny, because that was the first of the 2-point rounds.
You are absolutely right. I stand corrected.
We're all getting used to this, as the drivers are. That's how important it was to Travis Pastrana. The guys from the North American continent and from the USA were split up in the Nations Cup into two-man teams, but there's a huge sense of camaraderie and of team here underneath the Stars and Stripes. Sebastian Vettel out next, and he'll be up against Travis Pastrana. Vettel still unbeaten this weekend. Can Travis do it? He's beaten him in the past. They're in the Ariel Atom Cup car. Sebastian on driver's left, Pastrana driver's right. Waiting for the countdown. Lights are out. 2 points on the line. Europe can't lose it here, but America can go within a point of taking this ROC Relay Challenge.
Sebastian Vettel will not want to be beaten, though he hasn't been beaten all day, and this is his chance to prove that he can drag the world with him into victory. Another very tight crossover there, but it looks like... Oh, look at that! On the other side of the track, Pastrana's had a whopping spin. He's now going the wrong way down the turf course. Has to prove that he can drag the world with him into victory. Another very tight crossover there, but it looks like... Oh, look at that! On the other side of the track, Pastrana's had a whopping spin. He's now going the wrong way down the turf course. Has to correct himself. This is an easy one for Sebastian Vettel. Pastrana will be furious with himself.
But that's only the first of 3 potential runs. So Vettel still unbeaten today. What a record Vettel is putting together today.
And Vettel just slowing down, because Pastrana still has to go back around to the other side of the track.
I think he might have had a problem with the car there. Let's have a look again as he goes down into the first part, turns it. Now, did he use the e-brake, or did he go down the gearbox one too many and lock the rear wheels? Only he will know. He's not happy though. He really isn't happy. He's looking. He's on driver's left now. We're about to get underway. 2 points on the line to Ariel Adams on the line. Sebastian Vettel on the line with Travis Pastrana. The lights are out. We're racing. Vettel immediately sets the car up for the right-hander to head down the left field line and towards the bullpen. Meantime, Travis Pastrana got to put his tribulations behind him and get his head together for this, otherwise he's going to lose the 2 points.
Very difficult to reset after something like that, but as you say, he's going to have to do it. But Sebastian Vettel has a problem. I think he missed a gear.
Wow, so unusual. This is an X-pattern gearbox, and you do have to heel and toe on this. Proper old-fashioned racing driving techniques, and it's going to be 1 each at the end of this. A big slide coming out the final corner from Vettel. Now Pastrana still, I don't think, very happy. There you go, with the gear lever and the e-brake. He's getting the hang of it now.
Yeah, so he's going to have to do another half loop to get himself back onto the starting line.
the shifter isn't working. You're ready, set lips there. But this was Vettel. Now let's have a look. Out of the corner. And, yeah, you were spot on there, Jenny. Just didn't get the grab back down through the gearbox, maybe, and found himself in the wrong gear coming out with no reg. Car bogged down. Cost him a second or so. But there's still points on the line here. America 5. Rest of the world 3 as it stands. Vettel wins it goes to 5 each. Pastrana wins it goes to 7-5. And the US would need just one more victory.
Very slow off the starting block for Sebastian Vettel. Travis Pastrana really fast, but again Pastrana really making a mess of things around turn 1. Will it be enough to just
Jump start from Pastrana. He's going to get a 5-second penalty by 0.150 of a second. 50 of a second. Confirmed on the bottom of the screen. So Pastrana then has jumped the start by a very, very small margin indeed. He took the chance of anticipating the lights and it hasn't paid off. So Vettel now, he won't know that, of course, as they come to the line. The crowd are going wild because they think Pastrana's won it as he has on the track. But he will be given the penalty. It will go to another race.
Oh dear. Once again, America will feel slightly aggrieved potentially. There we go, Vettel doing that, saying he jump-started. They don't have comms in there, so he won't know that that was a jump start. But as soon as he gets into the pit lane, he will know. Pastrana is just going in now.
Confirmation. Vettel taking the 2 points. It's all tied at 5. Then there will be at least a couple more races. Now let's have a look at this jump start again. 0.150 of a second. What does it look like? Watch the carbon closer to us. That was tight. Travis Pastrana looking a little nonplussed. Scott Speed is down with Bob Varsha.
Well, a clutch drive for Scott Speed, picking up a 2-point victory in his heat. When he got out of the car, he got a big thumbs up from Petter Solberg, who you might well meet in the most important race of all. First, tell us about you.
It was just a clean run. You know, everything went to plan. You know, with these deals, if you have one big mistake or one problem, then it's over. So that worked out well. Then now the good news is we're in a rally car, which is good for me. The bad news is I've already driven it today, so we'll see. And you're talking like Mr. Rally himself. So I expect a really good race. If it comes down to the last, at least we'll have a shot.
All right, good luck.
Thanks.
Well, Scott Speed needing to get himself focused here. He may be needed in the biggest event with the last race on the line. Kyle Busch and Jenson Button are slated to be up next in the KTM Crossbows. And I reckon by my maths was double period Friday afternoon for me at Farringdon Comprehensive, but I reckon it's 5-5.
Yes, I will concur. It's 5-5, unless once again the Americans go, hang on a minute, that wasn't fair, and we have another great debate.
Aye. We had video evidence there, and it was tight at 0.150 of a second, but Vettel knew it straight away. Here's how we are at the moment. The 1 point round, well, the points were split. The 2 points round, the points so far have been split. We'll have at least 2 more races. 8 points takes the championship, so whoever gets the next 2 will be on 7, but the final round, rest of the world.
Yeah, Kyle Busch was the first to come out in these heats. He took on Hinchcliffe and he managed to win it. So Kyle Busch already has an outing. You can see him there just getting ready. There's Jenson Button as well. This is his first time out in the car in this competition.
Long time since he's driven as well, because the UK team went out early in Nations Cup.
Rub it in.
I'm sorry, it's a fact. He has not been in a car for quite a long time. So Jenson then leads out in this best of 3 for 2 points. It's not the end of the world if rest of the world can't win it, but they have to win one of the next 2 bouts. Kurt Busch on the line. final round of the 2-point scoring matchups with Jenson Button on our KTM crossbow drive with Kyle Busch. Jenson then needs this 2 points to take the rest of the world to a 7-5 advantage. Now, did he get off the line early? We know that the Busch boys are super quick on those lights. They've been cutting it very fine indeed. Kyle Busch in the crossbow. Thumbs up from his passenger.
No time for a thumbs up from Kyle Busch. The cross-over very tight there, so it looks like Kyle has made up some time in that, but when they come back round again towards the finishing line, it is that just straight drag up towards the line. Who will take it, Button or Busch?
I think Kyle Busch has the advantage. Jenson Button not able to hold on it. 5-second penalty for Button anyway for hitting the wall. So Kyle Busch has taken the first encounter between Jenson and himself. Now, it must have been a pretty heavy shot. Here's Jenson coming out the final corner. Yeah, it moves. As soon as it moves the barriers, the race director is going to call it, because potentially, Jenny, that affects your opponent. Could take their eye, could make them have to modify their line.
And you called it, didn't you? You said Jenson Button hasn't been in the car for quite a long time today, whereas Kyle has been in and out of all of the cars. So let's see, can the rest of the world come back from this? Button needs a good round to be able to keep the Americas from just almost clinching this.
One from our commentary point. Jenson getting a little bit of push, a bit of understeer there, catching the car on throttle induced oversteer with the back end coming around. He sees Busch ahead of him. Busch has had a great first half lap from our commentary point. Jenson getting a little bit of push, a bit of understeer there, catching the car on throttle induced oversteer with the back end coming around. He sees Busch ahead of him. Busch has had a great first half lap.
Yeah, nice and clean from Busch. Button making that switch over in the cross point much better this time. No contact for him as they round towards that final turn and come towards the finishing line. It looks like the Americans may well have this. It's close though. Kurt Busch managing to get more drive out, and it's gone to Kyle Busch. My apologies, Kyle Busch managed to get it. Another 2 points. So, as you said, John, one hand on the trophy. It is 7 points to America, 5 to the rest of the world.
But as ever in Race of Champions, it's not all over. We have a deciding round. The next round is for 3 points, which means either of the teams can still win, and we're going to roll out the Rallycross lights. Even Stevens in the 1 point round. The USA taking advantage in the 2 point round, but Petter Solberg can still win it if he can beat Scott Speed and take the final 3 points on offer in the RX Supercross light machine.
And you have to say, Petter Solberg in a Rallycross car, pretty hard to beat.
And we're hearing, because of time constraints, this will be one and done. No second chances. This is 3 points on the line between Scott Speed and Petter Solberg. So just one opportunity for these drivers to be the hero for their team. America with a slight advantage at the moment, but that will disappear like a wisp of exhaust out of your tailpipe if this goes to Petter Solberg. Not now, best of 3. This is the race for the championship, the big cup, the accolades, and the bragging rights for a whole year. USA versus the rest of the world comes down to this. All-wheel drive supercar lights cars. A little bit of a creep from Solberg. He's holding it on the e-brake and goes, gets a decent run. Short chips into second, straight up into third, then down through the gearbox to the home plate hairpin. It's all on the line here. There can be no errors. There can be no mistakes. There can be no blinking.
And Solberg absolutely ragging this car around the Marlins Park.
So the crossover.
Crossover happens very close. Solberg right on the tail end, really, of speed.
Solberg's got the advantage for my money. Scott Speed just pulling down as he goes off the right field line. This is Solberg for 3 points. Solberg to take the rest of the world past the Americans. He's onto the start-finish straight. He's across the line. And the USA have lost in the final, the most dramatic way. A real 7-minute moment at Marlins Park. Fantastic stuff. The rest of the world over the US. and right to the end. If that was the World Series, we went to the 7th game. We'll talk to the winners and to the rest of the drivers when we come back. The race of champions, it's gone to the rest of the world over the US. Petter Solberg bringing the car back. My goodness, excitement.
1 point,
excitement.
just 1 point, John, came to it in the end. America 7, the rest of the world 8 points. And Petter Solberg, it's not been his weekend. Yesterday, a miserable day for him, just managing to chalk up 1 win. And Team Nordic not really succeeding either today, but he's turned it around, and look at how happy he is as Terry Grant slows him down. The rest of the world, Terry Grant will take that as a victory for himself as well. It went down to the wire all the way through 10 rounds, and in the end, it was Petter Solberg that tied it up for the rest of the world. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, real bottom of the 9th walk-off home run for Petter Solberg. Drops the mic. Great stuff.
And walks away.
Solberg out. Look at how much it means to the drivers of the rest of the world. They collectively have something they can congratulate each other and cheer about. The USA guys so close, one hand and 2 fingers in the second half.
This is going to be brilliant. This is the moment where normally all the mechanics and engineers from a team go to the wall of the pits and hang over it and congratulate their driver. Instead, the drivers are going to do it. Can we?
Did I win? So have we won? Yes, you have.
I think you should do some more donuts now. No,
and DC can get back to eating donuts where he's happiest at. Solberg on top of that car. How many can we get on top of the RX supercar light? Light for a reason, gentlemen.
Not anymore.
Oh dear, I can see insurance claims being written as we speak. These are champions of the world, and they're all on that car. Please be careful, gentlemen. Yes, Jenson Button going, oh my goodness, they're going to do a parade lap. Jenson Button wants to actually turn the ignition on. Surely he's not going to be allowed to do that. Health and safety is still alive and well in Miami.
He's going to start it up and roll it, you know. He really is.
JB opens door. Love it. And you're known for being very calm and cool.
Passengers still in the car. Being in with Solberg.
JB opens door. Love it. This is how to drive. Slowly, perfectly, and with how many? Are there 8 people on top of that car right now?
We've got the whole world.
Yeah, 8 on the car.
Yeah, with 10 if you count the 2 inside.
Oh, great scenes there over in Miami. But if you were a bit confused about the point system there, don't worry, you weren't alone. Because we were too, because it changed as we went along. But all you need to know is that the rest of the world triumphed over America. So we're delighted, aren't we?
That's all that matters.
And it was good fun to watch, wasn't it? It was a real spectacle, Max.
I found it absolutely fascinating that there was 2 races which were so close that by, you know, a starting finish line which was only 20 inches wide, by the time one had crossed the start of the line, it was winning, and by the end of the line, it was losing, and that happened twice.
Yeah.
And it was the start of the line that mattered.
It was, exactly. That's where the timing line was.
And it affected DC, actually, a couple of times, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I think that's what's really been nice about this. It's been so close, and because you're on 2 different tracks, you know, you're on different lines, one line's faster than the other, and you're obviously reaching that finish line generally close together. I thought the races were really exciting. It's a really nice, exciting event, and quick fire as well, so lots happening very quickly.
A great camaraderie between the drivers of different disciplines. You just sense that they share that competitive, I mean, on the one hand, you could tell they were having fun. On the other hand, they were gritty determination to win, so they share that trait.
Absolutely. You can. They all have respect for each other, but no one wants to lose at the end of the day, regardless of what you're doing. So it was good. It was really, really competitive, and it reminded me of Speedway. It's very quick, far round, and it's great to see that there's always just one winner at the end.
We've got to talk about Sebastian Vettel, because what a turnaround. Now, interestingly, who was it that predicted that he would win? That Team Germany... Can't remember. Yeah. Oh, yeah, convenient. Well done. No, but interestingly, it actually almost made it easier for him not having a teammate, because he got so much track time, so much time in each car, and the momentum was with him, wasn't it? And you could tell that he was enjoying himself.
Yeah, I think it made a real difference in that type of event where you just get, you know, you're in the car all the time, you're always doing laps, and he had such a disappointing day yesterday where he didn't win anything. So today he was unbeaten and really on absolute top form. And this means a lot to him. He's been very successful at this event over the years, alongside Michael Schumacher in a lot of those. And look, the old fingers out again, he was absolutely loving that.
I mean, when you consider that it doesn't actually count for anything in terms of his career, it really must be the memories that he's forged with Michael Schumacher over the years that keeps him coming back year after year, and clearly enjoying it so much, Max.
Yeah, as he said in his interview at the end, you know, Michael's one of those people who's incredibly hard to beat on track and off track, and I think obviously Sebastian was, you know, looking up to Michael because Michael was in Formula 1 for so long that he sort of respects so much, and he learnt his traits at the Race of Champions with Michael. So it was.
Absolutely. Well, how long do you reckon it is to the first F1 race? Can you work it out?
Not long.
9 weeks today.
There you go.
9 weeks and counting to Australia, and we can't wait. So make sure you join us on the 24th to the 26th of March for that. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure having you both in the studio today. It's been fun, hasn't it?
It has.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys soon, 24th of March, if not before, but you'll see both myself and Mark for the F1 report before then. But until then, thanks for your company today. Bye-bye. Enjoy Sky Sports Live. On all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.
Jenny has been in Crouching Badger for 2 minutes. A new personal best. Because she's got the smart pay-as-you-go app
Haas
from
is
Ovo
Kevin
Energy.
Magnussen's third team in as many seasons. He left his last on bad terms. Renault chief Cyril Abiteboul called him a disappointment, questioned his attitude, and branded him full of excuses.
I think it's easy to say that someone is making excuses. I've said what I think. It's in the past, really. It's important that we beat them, and you know, I think we can do that. With the problems they have, it's going to take a long time for them to improve.
Renault team principal Frederic Vasseur's acrimonious departure this month perhaps supports that view. Boardroom divisions also marred Magnussen's McLaren years.
Look at poor old sad Kevin. He will get happy.
Little wonder then, despite joining a smaller team, he hardly views this as a come down.
I've seen how, you know, resources isn't everything at all. You know, you can have so many people. If they don't work together, then it doesn't mean anything. So I think having, you know, completely going back to the core of a race team, which this is, it shows you how it should be really built up.
Magnussen hopes Haas can build on a promising first season. Albeit the car was Jekyll and Hyde, it gave Romain Grosjean agonies.
The brakes braked.
But also ecstasies.
Guys, listen to me. This is a win for us. This is a win. Unbelievable for me.
What sort of reference is Romain Grosjean for you?
There's no doubt that he's a very capable driver. That hopefully we can learn from each other and build on each other, and score some points for the team.
You'll be disappointed if you don't beat him?
Of course.
In terms over the season?
I always want to beat everyone.
Second season syndrome has been talked about after the fanfare of their initial launch. Perhaps his fresh impetus could help avoid all that. Craig Slater, Sky Sports.
Now, it's just over a month before the first cars begin Formula One testing, and the teams are working hard to be ready for the new season with its new regulations. But they're not the only ones. The drivers will need to be physically fitter this year too, as the cars will be quicker and harder to drive.
The focus of attention at the Autosport show, the W07, Mercedes' double title-winning car of 2016. But Formula One in 2017 will undergo the biggest set of regulation changes since the introduction of the hybrid era. It's expected in 2017 that lap times will be between 3 and 5 seconds quicker, and this is one of the reasons for that. This is one of the new Pirelli rear tyres. It's gone from 325mm across to 405mm across, and the front tyres will also be 25% wider.
The biggest thing is obviously the changes. These lovely little tyres behind us are going to make a big difference with the mechanical grip, so that's going to allow the drivers to attack in the slow corners. Then of course aerodynamically there's going to be more downforce, so physically they're going to be more challenged as well.
Generally as a racing driver, I mean, you always want more and more grip, so now there will be more grip, and you know, everyone's complaining at the moment how there's no grip. You know, the cars are overpowered for the grip, and next year the grip should come up, so I mean, technically it should be maybe more interesting.
Lance Stroll is new to Formula One this season, but just as with all the other drivers, he's been training hard for the challenges of 2017.
A lot of neck training, a lot of cardio, you know, everything we've been doing, just, you know, bringing it up to the next level now, because next year is supposed to be very physical.
With more downforce and less emphasis on power, could this be the year that Red Bull does more than just lead the chasing pack? Rachel Brooks, Sky Sports, Birmingham.
Well, here are the key changes for 2017. The total width of cars has increased. As Rachel mentioned, the width of tyres has increased by 25%. Now, these changes should result in faster cars, with lap times expected to go down by up to 5 seconds. There'll be fewer restrictions on engine development as well, and that should help teams narrow the gap on Mercedes. Well, the first race of the 2017 season is in Australia, of course. It is live only on Sky Sports F1 from March the 24th. Race day is March 26th.
I think it would be crazy because it's a different day and age than when I got into racing now, with all the social media and the marketing that goes behind it, which seems to be 10 times more than the driving part. So it would be very, very hard on him, mostly because his father was many-time world champion and not so long ago. So not a lot of time has passed by. So I think it would be a lot of weight to carry. But you know, if he's mentally, if he can carry that, then a lot of doors will open.
In his own mind, do you think he's thinking, yes, I know it's hard, but I can't avoid doing this? If he wants to be a racer, he's just got to suffer it, whatever difficulties that Schumacher name puts in his way.
Well, if he's really passionate, then he has to go for it. He has to go for it, and he has to understand that it will come with hurdles. There will be a lot of doors open, but once the door is open, they can close very quickly and more easily than for other drivers, because all the media and the fans will look at him as if he was already an experienced driver when he's not. That's the big difference.
I'm back, so here I am again. Good feeling to get back to the team, to meet everybody again, speak to them. Actually, I had a phone call at the end of the year in December. It was just after the Christmas party that I was here. 2 days after, Claire calls me, and I answered the phone, and she said, I was thinking maybe she's going to say, it's nice to have you here, thank you for everything. So, and then she just said, you're ready to carry on and race for us next year. We really need you. We want to have your working with the team. For sure, Valtteri has this opportunity to go to Mercedes. We will just allow him to go if we have you back. It was for sure a surprise, you know, to see that, to hear that, and also totally understandable for what's happened to Nico. I mean, his decision to stop racing. I think it was really difficult for me to say no. I mean, definitely, I met Claire. I came here, we had a meeting, we put so many things on the table, also thinking about the future of the team, thinking about so many things that is important, you know, for me to accept that as well, knowing how it's going to be the car, how is the plan for the team for the future. So for sure, after we had this conversation, I think it was very difficult for me to say no, to keep working for the team, for a team that I really love to be part of it, a team that I had amazing relationship. So especially a year that everything is start from zero. You know, complete different rules for the cars. Everything is start from zero for everybody. It will be a very difficult year also in the physical point of view for the drivers, and I like that. You know, I like when it's a new thing starting. So I'm sure my experience can help the team. I hope, you know, to have a competitive car and to grow maybe a lot from the first to the last race. So yeah, it's a good feeling. I'm really motivated. Definitely it was a little bit strange for me because I mean I had the amazing you know, retirement feelings, you know, in the last 2 races. What's happening in Brazil, what's happening in Abu Dhabi. So I think everything was just perfect. So it was difficult, you know, just to go back and, you know, okay, I stop and now I'm going back. This was not so easy for me. But I think everybody understands. That's what I love to do. I was going to keep racing in another category. I'm really ready, motivated, already training really hard every day. And I really hope we can have a competitive and nice season.